5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Now let's see how tonight goes. Damn, Benny. Damn, Benny.
Oh, not me. I like to close Bonkers. Wow, that's awesome. Hey, everybody. How you guys doing out here? Can you hear me?
Hi there.
I heard you say, yeah, we're okay.
No, I just said, yeah.
Okay. I thought, I know my hearing. You guys might have the headphones on. But, yeah, it's me, Minister K.I., the Anunnaki teacher with the super, super duper strange over here. Oh, there he goes. See, I tried to tell you, this guy's everywhere. Man, if you guys...
I'm trying to get you going in the right direction. What are you doing?
He got me going in circles. Do, 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 do. But, Jay, I'm sitting here right now with Daisy 10 Ponies. Cassidy Lightwings on the way in. We're going to be discussing some of the CE5 visual laser pointer protocols that using the laser pointers that I did. I sent a few that we're going to look at. Daisy has a few pictures that she's going to explain some different type of paranormal activities, and we're going to look at the pictures and see what you guys think that you guys see, because I've seen different things when she originally showed them to me. But and then once again, we've got the specialist of strange over there, Dakota Franzen, and you never know where they might send me to. I think yesterday I was in Orion. So when I was walking down the street, I took a few shots of Orion. And then Dr. Stephen Greer's protocol, he says that's what you're doing, is making communication. That's what close encounters of the fifth kind is that you're making a contact. Now, whether that contact be something of getting it to do something, like you say, go up and down for yes and side to side for no, or just even asking something to come and put itself right in your hand. Some people have done it. Some people have seen it. Even Dr. Greer's shows have seen a being called Tilcum that came down to a lady. So enjoy the show. The Superman of ain't no telling what. Look, I don't even like saying what I just say Dakota Franzen, that's the guy there, and my sister right there, Daisy 10 Ponies. Enjoy.
Hello. I have an echo. How do I fix it?
I put my mic off.
Here.
Okay.
Let's see if he comes back in, and hopefully that'll fix it. Always something technical happens when you bring up this stuff. So
definitely, I understand.
All right. So,
are you gonna put the pictures up? Because I don't know how.
I'm trying to.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. So why don't you go ahead and kind of explain what's going on with these photos? So.
Okay. In 2008, we had a total loss house fire, and we were called home. We were not home when the fire started, and we were called home, and the firefighters had already almost contained the fire. Well, this was about, the picture was taken probably about an hour into them fighting the fire, and everybody there, including the firefighters, saw an apparition in that window. It looked like a lady with very long gray hair and like a travel case or a suitcase. And my house was very famously haunted. People, my whole farmstead was really, really uncomfortable for a lot of people. We had a lot of activity there. And we forgot about these pictures until probably 6 months later. My sister had actually taken them. And in that window, there you can see something, and the thing is that the roof and the top floor had already collapsed by the time those pictures were taken. So that's not, it can't be debris. And she stayed for minutes, I would say. And yeah, it was really wild. And there was an older lady who had died in that house. It was that farm was very, very odd. My deed was from 1887. And since 1887, every couple, I think there were 5 or 6 couples that moved in there, got a divorce, and the woman got the property. And that was a pattern throughout the whole life of this farm. And it was very hard on men who lived there. My husbands were not happy there. They were messed with a lot and just ultimately felt uncomfortable. But for me and my daughters, it was extremely comfortable. And we didn't, we noticed obviously the activity, but no one was scared or inconvenienced even. We just lived with it. That picture is of the back side of that window to show that there was no debris at the time that could have been whatever you see in the window.
Now, Michael, okay to show this photo with the kid in it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, just want to make sure.
That photo, when the fire, cooled off, we went into the house because it was still standing to try to find and salvage anything of our personal belongings that we could. And the only thing in the entire house was in my daughter's room. And that little white box has a little guardian angel in it. And the picture was of her and her best friend. And those were the only 2 items that survived the fire. Everything else was a total loss.
Huh.
And you can see that white box. There's not even a scorch on it. It's completely white. It was wild.
Let's see. This particular picture looks interesting because the little figure that you would see in the top window in the other photos almost looks like it's trying to peek around that corner in that frame just behind her head right there.
Really?
Too.
Interesting.
Huh.
I got the feeling at the time that it was whoever was occupying our house this whole time, and I got the feeling that the fire set her free. That she was like packed and ready to go after that fire happened.
It could very well be it, that whatever was in that house that kept her there was destroyed, so
Possibly.
She no longer had a tie to it.
Yeah. And like I said, it made almost everyone very, very uncomfortable to be there. Lots of people, anybody that was sensitive at all, did not like that. We couldn't get babysitters. It was and the house is beautiful on the inside. The house was perfect on the inside. Very, very cute. My husband was a general contractor, so everything was perfect inside. And people just were not comfortable there. But like I said, myself and my daughters, we were absolutely fine. We loved it there.
It's a man hater. Got it.
Yep. Yep. I really believe whatever was there was. And coincidentally, I lost the farm in 2017. Wow. The new owners are trying to contact me because they moved. I think they moved a house in there. And about 5 days after they moved in, the husband, who had absolutely never been violent before, started being violent to his wife and daughter. And they thought it was this possession or whatever was on the farm. And they were trying to contact me. And I it's too sore of a subject for me. I couldn't talk to them. But very, very hard on the men that ever lived there.
Can you keep that picture up, Dakota? And let me ask you something about that picture.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Okay, that picture right there. Mm-hmm. You guys kind of, in the picture to the right, look at the smoke area, right? And just imagine a big face is the smoke. And the eyes are like 2 triangles. I say triangular-like eyes in the dark areas of the face. Like the face is looking at the house. And it's like I don't know if it's right at the bottom part of that window. It looks like a 1 or something. But that's like the right side of the triangle eye. and then like over to it, you see where the nose protrudes, like the smoke is
Yep. I
forming
see that
the
exactly.
figure, and it looks like it has horns on the top, because it's like you can see the smoke is defining it, because that's sometimes that some people use smoke to see whatever figure it is. Some people use powder and different things like that to try to see, but that's forming right there. If y'all can see the triangles in the eyes,
Yep,
that
I can.
that right there, and then the action of it going down into the earth.
Looking down. Yep.
Yes, I
I'm
see
not one to
something.
I'm not one to see faces and things. I just don't usually make out stuff like that. So when I look
Yeah.
at this picture, I'm looking in the window and not, I don't know, but I see exactly what you're talking about.
Well, the reason why I can't remember, I told you guys when I had my first near-death experience, because the when my appendix busted, that my colors and my scarifomas are a little different. When I look at clouds, I told you I see the dark shapes in the dark areas and where they come together, like how the smoke can form
Mm-hmm.
or form around something, where some people just looking at the smoke. But yeah,
Yep.
I see something different. And then that one picture that you had in the window one time, it's like it was so ominous that it's like I could see the picture just looking at me, like someone, if you just pay attention, just look at it. But I can see like a center piece right there in that window. And all of most of your pictures, like even that one, even to the right of where that guy, where the face is, like where
Mm-hmm.
his ears should be, you see a real
Yep.
bright area. And it
Yep.
seems like that's like how when people would say the Big Bang, where the spark of whatever portal opened up or whatever entity came and caused that to happen. You know what I mean?
I
It,
am clairaudient, and so
mhm.
I hear things 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I can converse like we're conversing with many things, and I know that I'm connected to more the dark side of things.
Mhm.
They surround me, so it doesn't surprise me or scare me or anything to see, for other people to see things that upset them.
Well, yeah, I know personally, that what the situation is, and with what you're talking about, and so for some people that Daisy doesn't even, we don't discuss that, because she's had things in her life that a lot of people haven't never been through. That some
Yes.
people, if I was me as a guy, I'll tell you, I'm scared of, because some things you don't know about and that you're not prepared for can cause you to get hurt.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm afraid of transference. I'm afraid of
Yeah.
hurting other people with the entities that I live with
Yeah, and I know you
all the
do.
time.
You are, because I see how you ask people to make sure that you don't hurt anyone, or that seeing these things, or some in any kind of way. And I commend
Yeah.
you for that, because that's what we're talking about. It's about putting safety in everything, especially if we're dealing with paranormals and different type of ETs. That these are things that we're just now touching on. This is something, a
Yes.
new time of man going on here. So we got to be careful what we do.
Definitely.
Very much so.
So what you got for us now, Mr. Strange? Don't port me into another dimension, man. I just got back about 6 o'clock this morning.
You can throw me anywhere. I'll be fine.
Man, don't tell him that.
Uh
Don't tell
oh.
him that.
You worried
Uh-oh.
about me sending you to another dimension? We got a
Oh,
guy who owes you a testicle or two. I don't know.
oh
Uh-oh.
man.
Here we
Oh
are.
my God. Oh Lord, he didn't do it, but man, that guy right there, man. I want him to see. Hey, how you doing, Lion? Much
Tired.
love to you.
Tired.
Yeah, he said he was
Tired.
tired there. What's going
Caffeine!
on,
I
man?
need caffeine!
I
Yeah.
told him get some coffee, get going and everything. So
Dude,
we
I'm
we
on
got.
like my 5th jug.
Man, I ran out of dang cream. I
Is
need to
that
get.
it? Amateur.
I need to go get me a cup, man. We got the pros in here now. Did you see the Daisy photos, man? While you were sitting there, did you check those photos out?
Who, me?
Yeah, Cassidy.
No, I haven't had a chance. Been
Oh
working.
man, we were just talking about one and just what you kind of see when in the feel of it. That
Ah,
one,
There's There's an apparition in that window, and the fire had already taken the roof and the center floor, and they were collapsed. It was just a shell. And that apparition stayed, and everybody saw it. Firefighters, everybody that was there saw it, and it stayed for minutes. And we actually didn't remember we got pictures of it until about 6 months later. My sister looked on her camera.
Damn.
It's spooky.
It looked like a lady with long, dark, like long gray hair, and a travel case or a suitcase.
Right.
And that house had always been occupied. The whole farmstead was very, very active.
Did anyone die in the fire? Is that person possibly a victim of the fire?
Goodness. We found even a cat.
Okay, good. Good.
That's the way you said that. Possible victim. Was someone hiding her maybe?
There.
Volume. Let me turn my mic off. You're going in and out.
I was about to say, is everybody else hearing her, or am I just the one having technical issues again?
Nah, it's probably your signal.
Well, my devices are acting strange here. You might see something or something. I'm not playing any sounds or anything, but you know, I've already got activity in this room.
Okay.
Daisy, you still among us?
She said, did she go ahead and send her somewhere? Dakota?
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, Cassidy only, you know, he doesn't send people to different dimensions. You know, he tries to bring them back. Now, Dakota sent me I sent myself to a dimension. I should have. You guys are all, it's like maybe I see glitching going on over there and something coming through Cassidy's light there. Because I did capture a light being that kind of came to me last night, Cassidy. Mm-hmm. And when it showed its face, it showed like that African mask that you see, the one that has the round eyes with just that slit that everybody sees it with just that little nose and it's like it leaned down through the light and just manifested through this from dark matter into matter. And it was real strange. And what I was playing was the sound of, it was the meditation relaxation sounds on YouTube for changing ultimate realities. And like I said, that was really weird to me. And I had the feeling of Inky or an ancient god just, you know, coming, because, you know, those are some of the things that I try to talk to when I do my CE5s, you know, with the laser pointer, because it tells you, you know, in the beginning, it says to think of the triangle, right? Dr. Greer. It thinks of sound, light, and meditation. Then you're supposed to concentrate on whatever it is your higher being is. So to get in touch with your higher being, mine being God, and God, me in a religious aspect, want to be like Enoch, to transform into something like Metatron. So this is what I was thinking, like I'm always thinking. So this is my stages into my CE5, right? So then you get your laser pointer. Everybody, it's a laser pointer. I'm not going to point it. We're not going to do like the movie Deja Vu, but everybody sees
I'll chase that shit. I will chase that laser pointer.
Like
Don't you make me.
You are lying, ain't you? Let me get him. I get him. Okay. Y'all know how to get. Oh, see the line. We got him, guys. He's on the wall. Man, if Cassidy don't get off my ceiling, man, get back over there in your screen, Cassidy. Okay.
Hey, you're the one that pointed the laser pointer. Not my fault.
But yeah, man, I'm telling you. So when we did one, I got in touch with something, like I told you, and since then everything has been enlightening since I did my first CE5s. Because like I said, after that you do it, and then you choose which shapes you point. So you either do the triangle, then the circle, and then the square around it, or whatever combination that you want to. Now that's what I've been wondering. That's a good question for you, Cassidy. Do you think that when I use the laser to do that and use the triangle, the circle, and the square. Now I think about the threes. Now combinations of
Do
unlocking
me
different portholes. Hmm?
do me a favor. Turn
Yes, sir.
around. After the instruction, not right now. What I want you to do is turn around and use that laser pointer. Don't point it at me. Point it at the wall and do your triangle thing. I want to see the back of your head while you're doing it.
Okay. Because I was actually going to do an example. I could do it on that curtain if you like, or right out the window too.
I want to see the back of your head.
The back of my head, like right here, and then
Right.
do it at the wall.
Yep.
Let me see that.
I
So
want to see what parts of your brain light up.
can you see? Can you see the laser pointer? Can you see it on the wall?
Not looking at the laser pointer, but I suppose it's probably visible.
Dakota, can you see it on the wall back there?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, now I'm about to make the triangle. So when you do it, they say, think of your higher power. So I thought of, God through Jesus in Jesus' name. And my favorite person in the Bible is Enoch. And what do I want to be like Enoch's transformation into Metatron? So I asked for when I do these laser pointed things that I get the knowledge of Thoth to help me talk to Metatron. So then I looked up and then I did the triangle. Then I did a circle around the triangle. Then I put an ultimate square around all of them.
Cool.
Should I stay turned around?
Well, you did. You were explaining. You weren't concentrating and doing your trance. I mean,
Okay.
do the thing. Like actually do the
I'll
thing.
do it. But I want to actually do it out the window into the stars.
Irrelevant.
Because I was gonna go outside and actually do a live one if everyone wanted me to. That I'll go ahead and do the example because I mean it's cold here, it's hell here in Houston, but I'll still do it because everybody else is freezing.
Did you want my opinion or not, bro?
Yeah, well, I mean, you want me to do it on the wall, or you want me to do it
No,
outside?
I need to see the back of your head.
And then do it. Okay, I see
Yeah.
what you said.
Right.
And then go ahead and do it.
Right.
Let me see. I'd rather do it out the window.
Do it out the window later. I need to see the back of your head.
Just don't get yourself shot at.
Camera up. Okay, let's do it.
That's not preventing you from doing it your way later. I need to see the back of your head. That's just the way it is.
Okay, can you see the back of my head?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm about to do it. All right. All right, I'm going to be doing the Dr. Stephen Greer laser protocol using his technique, which is think of that triangle, and using sound, light, and meditation. Starting with the meditation, thinking about my higher power being the Almighty God and Jesus as the Savior. My favorite person in the Bible is Enoch and his transformation into Metatron. Where am I at? I'm on planet Earth. I'm in North America. I'm in the United States. I'm in the state of Texas. I'm in Houston, Texas. I'm in Southwest Houston. I'm off of Bissonnette Street in Cook. I'm at 12400 Brooklyn Circle house. I'm sitting in the chair right here upstairs in the house. I'm doing a meditation. I'm going to use the triangle with the circle and the square.
There we go.
Yeah, I do feel a little better relaxed all of a sudden. Felt like feels like something's moving me over. This is the same thing I get with this chair. Got my eyes closed. It feels like I'm turning. Feels Feels like, I'm getting light.
You're giving us a great view of your roots. I'll explain in a minute.
While you say that, it made me think of like I'm on an ocean, like in water, like it's just turning, just.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I think I can answer your question now.
Can I come out now?
Yeah. Right. So in your case, what's activating is the centers of your brain regarding, the deep like what they call the lizard brain. I'm not talking Dracos. I'm just talking the very, very deeps. What you're doing is you're activating your belief in the sigils themselves.
Mm.
You see what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to hold up a laser pointer. It helps because what you're doing basically, you with a laser pointer is the same thing like when I do my Doctor Strange bit. I don't need to do my Doctor Strange bit. It just makes me feel cool, makes me feel more confident, puts me more in tune with myself because I'm a big old comic book nerd.
Right. So
See
you
what I
say
mean?
the light aspect isn't needed?
Not with what you're doing currently. There are other techniques that where the light is very, very handy. What you're
Right.
doing right now is you're exercising your belief structure. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Because Dakota did say there was other CE5 different techniques. Yes.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I was
Oh,
like, Dakota and I were talking about how to use sigils earlier, and there's multiple ways. I'm like, oh, how do you use them? Are cool. We're great. We're getting shit figured out. But in your case, basically your roots are lighting up and extending into your ancestors, which tells me you're drawing on not just
Hit.
your DNA,
Hit.
not just you first.
No. When I say hit, that means I'm just telling you, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, you're on point. Like, yep, it's a hit.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought we kept interrupting each other.
No,
But yeah,
please don't.
so in that case,
Ancestors.
that African deity thing, I don't think that was a god you were reaching out to. I think that's something within yourself that you're trying to understand. You see what I mean?
Yes, I'm. Yes, because I felt like a connection like that. It felt ancient. That's what I even
Right.
posted something like ancient something man, because it just seemed like it was a part of me that was like just extending to me, like
Right.
we're always here. It's like the way he just bent over, like, and it
Right.
just came through this, the light, the wall, the mirror, the TV, like we never left you,
Right.
like maybe, like I said, with me thinking when people say that, you might have been abducted and just don't remember, and maybe they
Probably.
let me,
most
yeah,
likely.
because maybe I was with a tribe or whatever that you guys, call those different ones, that maybe it was ones that got their thing lost, just like how the Africans, what I'm saying, when they're coming over through, slavery, lost their traditions and things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe there's different type of, you know, alien beings out there that, just like they say the Igigi were a captured race, that the Anunnaki, maybe they took how like
Right.
you and Daisy was talking about the consciousness, how they're trying to use the consciousness or to unlock, and
Right.
that's kind of deep, because you kind of think about what we're thinking about now. Unlocking this cognitive dissonance is just retraining the brain to stop thinking the way we was trained through the religious ways and the book ways, and have
Right.
new science.
Hey,
Please.
even Yoda says that. You must unlearn what you have learned. You know?
Go to the forest, live.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then yeah, people like me are like, that's like when everybody was like, oh, okay, Cassidy is the one that yeah, what did you say? Well, when I said if you shoot at me and your balls will blow up and they'll come out your eardrums and all that other stuff. And like I was telling everybody, I was like, man, if that guy could do that, I want to be in his school. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I like the UFC. I wanted to be trained by Moise Gracie and Anderson Silva. You know what I'm saying? Because
Now,
it's awesome. But like I said, that's why I kick it around Dakota and you, and because you guys, y'all got that a lot of people don't even can scratch the surface of knowledge with you all, and then like you got, Daisy, and I've met people like her that's so strong, and something is so right there connected, and she's on that search of what it is, and that's why, like I told Daisy, I think that we're compared as people, and we're on two different polarities. And that's why sometimes with Daisy and
I
I,
wouldn't say
you know,
polarities,
yeah,
wavelengths, yes, but not polarities, because we're not
why
opposites.
wavelengths?
You see what I mean?
Mhm.
Well, because we're
Right,
not opposites. Polarities are basically by nature opposites. Positive, negative, up, down. You see, right?
right.
We're on
That's
different
why I think
wavelengths,
that
but we're not
is.
opposing. You see?
Mm. But I think that we have somehow have that there's something that makes the polarities messed up, because like I said, well, no, I shouldn't say like,
Yeah.
I cut that out of my vocabulary. When I was doing one of the sound things, me, I get angry and I voice myself. And they tell you that when you try to exercise, provocation causes things to happen. Like Zach Bagans and all of them tell you that sometimes you'll get a negative reaction when you provoke an angry spirit, because we're not prepared to deal with those type of things sometimes.
Well,
If some people don't know, I try to do exorcists and stuff like that. And like someone
careful.
explained to me the other day, you wasn't trained to do that, so you need to stop doing it. And I was like, well, I'm a minister and I love the world and God will, but that might be, but you still didn't get the training to do it yet. And they're perfectly right. If you're out there, you know who you are. Thank you. And it makes sense, because it's just certain things that certain people should do.
Yeah,
But
but
back to what you,
hold on. I'm gonna throw one little monkey wrench into that. I'm not completely disagreeing with them, because before people try like the higher level shit, like where people are being dragged along walls and shit,
Mhm.
yeah, start lower. But the thing is, you got to start somewhere. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Sure.
So that's kind of like a self-defeating statement that person made.
Mhm.
Don't begin because you haven't begun. I thought I was a Star Wars freak here. You know what I mean? That's like
Me
some
too.
serious, like next level Yoda shit. Don't begin because have not begun you have. However, that was good advice. Just take it slow
To the
until you get
point.
your training. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
True.
There are
True.
several
Because it's
people out
taxing.
there. Yes, there are several people out there that are putting together schools, and the fact that multiple organizations, even competing organizations, is doing this, that's a good thing. All right, that's a very, very good thing, because that gives people lots of different options to learn from, right? So in time, the internet can be used to learn whatever you want, but some of this stuff, I mean, how many practitioners, show of hands, are still afraid to be beaten with sticks by angry Christians,
Hmm.
right? So it's like a lot of people aren't coming out yet, but the more safe we prove it is, right, the more people will come out, the greater body of knowledge. Everybody wins, you know, but you got to
True.
start somewhere.
True.
Mhm.
True. And
Very
that's
true.
what, a good point with like the CE5 sound ones, that, they got a lot of negative feedback on one that we had did, because of what I was doing like a dummy. Because like I said, it wasn't, I had took it upon myself to misuse the sounds, but you can't, I see now that you shouldn't do that. That, these frequencies and sounds they're real things, and they can cut, they
Yeah.
make real things happen,
Okay.
you
So
know?
remember last time I was here when I said that the things that people were saying, if I was correct, can get people hurt. Well, first off, I was
Mhm.
not correct. He was not, but that's a perfect example. When you're messing with sacred tones, man, you're messing with
Okay.
forces beyond people's understanding. You know, you got to respect the tones. Even dark magicians respect the tones.
Mhm.
Amen.
Exactly.
Absolutely correct. And I didn't, and it paid the cost. I'm not going to say that was the medical cause of it, because some people would try to put that on Daisy, because I was trying to, Daisy, see, in the conversation, I'm gonna just do a short, that she was mentioning something that happened to her, dealing with, that's connected to this house. And go ahead.
Oh no, are you, whenever you're ready. That's why I do the hand sign.
I know. I'm saying go ahead because I can
Okay.
go back to it, but just a
Well-
short. That's what I was connecting to because my care for Daisy, trying to get in there mentally and fight it. When she had something that I'm a punk compared to, and during when he had the sounds going, because I figured, okay, I'm big and tough. I got the sounds now. I'm gonna ride that wave, and then it was like what she was talking about took me there to where she was at with it, and then I seen the face of the person that she had fear of. So I wanted to go and do some battle, but he really had he was really mimicking. It was a demon.
No.
It wasn't a person. And
You're the one being affected. Your job is to sit back, relax, and let your light workers do their job. So
No,
everybody's
nothing.
talking about this in terms of an attack, but after after hearing, excuse me, all the different kinds of all the various things that happened, I don't think you guys are considering. I know. Well, sort of. There's something obvious I don't think you guys are considering.
What?
Well, what if that was a healing? What if the tones were working?
That's what I'm saying. They were. That's the point. They did work.
Well, you described the black goo, which is usually a side effect of a healing, right? And if you've had this crap inside you, it has to get out. And it might have to get out any way it can, as in sometimes in some extreme cases through the intestinal walls, i.e., a breach. But with this black goo coming out, and with the way people keep this corruption in their guts, what if that was a side effect of you purging?
Because I've been telling people that it feels like that I've got some type of inner transformation going on. I said, oh, you hit. That's what I call a hit, bro. Hit. Yeah, that's a hit.
In metaphysics, we actually have a name for the condition. It's called awakening sickness. Or ascension sickness if you're already awakened. So in your case, it would be ascension sickness.
Ascension sickness. Yep.
Yeah. One of the first signs is changes in your digestive system.
Yeah, and like I said,
you're right.
And when Dakota, like I said, before we did the sounds, and like we were sitting in one of the little chat room things, and he was like explaining what's going, and he just kind of was feeling something. He was like, well, you need to get medical condition right here. And Sherry was like, yeah, she kind of keyed, and then I was like, no, I'm all right, and I knew that I had because.
And then the tones hit your mesentery, and your gut said, "Fuck this!" Whack.
Chakras bow. So it was already.
Remember, guys, one of your brain is right here.
Stressed that day, though. That's what I'm saying. I took a long walk after hearing the what happened with Daisy, and you see, I'm always moving my arms because my muscles are always out of place and jumping because I got bad nerve. So just imagine me mad. I'm out here walking, and I got this hernia. It wasn't intestinal. I've already had an intestinal hernia that got fixed. It was my bowels from straining and being mad pushed down into the sac, and that's why everybody was like, "When you if you shoot at me, your things are gonna fall out through your, So everybody, it was the magician, the lion has struck him." So I went looking at everybody's cat bowl around the corners.
All right, here's how you know, folks. If I can do that, here's how you'll know. Not Kim Jong. Oh yeah, no. Let's add him to the mix. Kim Jong-un and President Pooh Bear will both then shit their intestines out through their guts. All right. Now, if that happens, maybe that was me.
I'm voting for you for galactic leader if that happens, then, man. Like
no. In all seriousness, I'm a doctor. I can't attack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where back home, I'm not a doctor here. Let me rephrase that. I was a doctor back home. You know what I mean? And since I still can remember that incarnations, my vows still apply. So I can do no harm. And if I do, I lose my Healy powers. So, quite frankly, those are more valuable to me.
And that's why I thought it was so important because I let people know that didn't get to see or hear, that Cassie did nothing but help us afterwards. Sent you doing okay? Got you out the hospital. I called him with all kind of cosmic questions and everything else with Daisy, and he's been nothing but just light bringer. That's what a true light bringer is, man. And like I said, people don't get it twisted. I respect the hell out of that guy right there.
I love you too, man. And besides, Why? Because you were my buddy and you were helping us try to get control of the situation. I mean, there's no motivation, or no motive, as the cops
Yeah,
would say.
it's no
Motivations
for,
from
for
acting
neither
class.
one of us, and I hope
Yeah.
everybody that might watch this show that that might still have attitudes prevailing and all of that to let's find a way to get over that, man. Like I said, we got some cool stuff and cool
Well,
people and a lot of stuff that we need to get out there to the everybody else. Hey, that's what we're disclosing information from Cassidy Lightwing right now. Dakota, the polar bear of strange that keeps putting me in dimensions and out of dimensions, and I love it. And Daisy 10 ponies. They're amazing, right now. So what else, can you show
yeah,
some
her
of
mic
my
is going on and
CE
off, man.
files? I want to see what Cassidy has to say about the one I did on YouTube, the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. When
Let's see if we can get Daisy back first, real quick. All right.
she should be there.
She's been flashing her mic like she's trying to get our attention.
Or like she's trying to test it.
Check.
Does anybody have any ideas for Daisy? We might be able to get Daisy back.
So to go
I
out
am not
and
a
come
good
back in.
IT guy.
She says I'm back in comments.
Yeah, in the private chat, she was trying to let us know that she was back. I was watching her from my end just to see if everything's connected. So, but Daisy, can you hear us? You alive? Wait, knock on wood. That's not it.
Yeah, don't ask her that. Not after what we just saw. Watch, that was Daisy looking back at us from the future, like, you jerks.
Can I read? Can you hear me, Dakota?
I can hear you just fine.
Can you see me too? Because I'm looking at the comments. I don't know if the camera's still showing my face.
Dakota, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Somebody told me earlier, they was like, Benny, you're not there. I'm like, yeah, I am here. What do you mean I'm not there? Quit playing with me. And then I was like, I looked in the mirror and I was like, who am I? Am I there or not? See, that's why I be telling people about the power of suggestion. After watching a hypnotism video, I'm like, look, please don't tell me that it's raining when look, Cassidy just gave me back one of my testicles. So please don't pee on my head. And okay, this is another story for another time.
Whoa! Didn't realize it was going to be that kind of disclosure show, but
no, it's a close year show. They're close. They're both close, and they're there because they were ripping away. Somebody says broomstick pentagrams. Says, oh yeah, I've never played with the tones yet ever.
They were showing pentacles, not pentagrams.
Pentacles? Do they got pentagrams too? Because I know they got pentagrams.
A pentacle and a pentagram are actually two radically different things, although Christians like to get them confused. Not trying to offend any Christians in the audience. Pentacle is when it's pentacle is 2 points up. Pentagram, I had it backwards. Pentacle is 1 point up. Pentagram is 2 points up. It's different geometries. A lot of people will say, "Oh, it's just the same shape flipped around." Yeah, that makes a difference, right, Dakota?
Oh yeah.
And behind Dakota is not a pentacle or a pentagram. That's the Seal of Solomon mixed with some other things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. What do you feel about those different type of seals? Because someone had told me about keeping a seal up there on your phone for like your screensaver, because different type of things that can manifest and different things like that through your phone. Do you believe that, Cassidy?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I can cast through his sigil right now.
I hear you now.
Hi, Daisy.
Daisy.
Hi.
She's alive.
I'm back for a minute, I think.
Wow. But yeah, you got to be careful about that thing. Personally, I don't mess with them that much. This is going to sound very arrogant, all right? But it's a training technique. Basically, just try to do your light work without any tools. No tools. None. Okay? You will find yourself and your willpower getting much stronger. And then, if a situation comes around where you find yourself overwhelmed, pull your tools back out and see how strong you are then.
My tools,
like sigils, candles, salt, shakers. Me and my Doctor Strange thing. Yeah, just try with willpower alone.
Here are my tools, right there. Those are like some things that I have that represent people that I have. It's not a shrine. I don't do anything like that, curses, but it's just like things that I have that represent, like, this Dakota and Chris, because she's Bubble of Love, and Candace Fowler. And then right here is Daisy 10 Ponies there. And then right here, this clock right here is Bradley Powers. Right here is Chris Jolie's mother, because we was talking about Fatima and something hit me with that lady. Right here is Christina. It's just something that I have with Beck Birdie right here. Those are like different things that I keep, and like when I get into certain type of, like when I was battling with different type of dimensions or different type of entities, that is certain people that I know that are stronger in certain things. So maybe like, I'll pick up the cross with that, or, with Beck Birdie, something, if I'm talking to her, just trying to channel the energy. It's mainly that I use my own form that I designed of remote viewing to be able to try to see flashes from people. And my connection is like when I'm in a conversation like now, I get to thinking about you or Daisy or Dakota, and just kind of focus in, just kind of like how you was on the back of my head, and just trying to get in on that energy. And like what you were saying, it kind of hits home about, an ancient, something trying to connect with me, because, I'm on my third near-death experience, and I feel like fourth isn't coming. And it's like an epiphany, everything that's been happening. Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And I will be.
Be very careful.
The reason why I was looking at the back of your head is, all right, so you guys have heard of the light body, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the reason why I was looking at the back of your head is because part of the anatomy of the light body is these roots that come out of the back and go up and sort of backwards into hyperspace. And they're very real anatomical structures. They're just part of the non-visible light spectrum. So you can basically tell what part of a person's brain is lighting up by when these tendrils reach out.
And you say those colors because there's a graph that I got that off of Pinterest just the other day, and it breaks down about this high over the head is where actually that whatever is coming from off your head, it's up here. Like where your hands stop is where your height really stops, because it's there. And yes, and you can actually see the color, or like when you was telling Daisy the other day about, something red and the shape of it. And that's what the changes up here is, what this thing was talking about, the changes of how that thing that's above your head, that crown chakra sits up there.
Right.
And like Birdie was talking about, from up here up and down here, where the separation has came, where we live in a holographic world, because the conscious part of us has separated from the body part, and the body part lives in a holographic world. Now, I'm saying all this to kind of tie it together, because when you're correct about my theory about the laser pointers, because the laser pointers, they say with the new Star Wars technology, that there's a grid up there in the sky that covers the Earth now, that when the laser pointers are pointed, it sets off the grid. That's why here in Houston, you see the planes will come, because only when I do this, you see these certain type of planes coming from one direction and the other direction, those military planes that have the big bright lights that's on each side, and they'll fly over, and usually something will come off the top. Now, that's what I'm wondering. Now, did they have something or some type of alien or a light being, because something came down, and that's what we was capturing in the lights, because you could see it moving around, and it wasn't just the reflections. So that's why I'm like, okay, that sparks all kind of conspiracies there with me. You know me, I like I said, I think about everything. Like, who are we aligned with our government, and what type of military, and what could they use it for? Like I said, everything is so fascinating nowadays. We're in 2022 going into 2023 in the age of Sagittarius. So are we really in that age? Is what I asked somebody else. Did we get fooled and fall through another dimension, and we're in another time? Because someone else had told me that.
No, we're in the beginning of the age of Aquarius. The reason why people are making that mistake, and this is one of the ways you can always tell that people haven't really studied their work, is they don't understand that the ages go backwards. So no, we're at the beginning of the age of Aquarius. This whole age is an age of turmoil. What you got to figure out is utilizing the imagery language of the people that taught your ancestors, right? Like Scorpio, we think of a scorpion. The Pleiades, we think of 7 sisters, right? So that constellation language. What is Aquarius?
The age? Okay, no.
No. What is the constellation Aquarius? Okay, it's a water.
What is
it's
that?
A water bearer.
It's something water. The one that pours out the water, isn't it? That has the bowl. Yeah.
Right. Well, people have forgotten the full imagery of a lot of these characters and mythologies. True. And the reason why they were put into mythologies in the first place is so people could remember them through the ages. But the whole purpose of Aquarius, the water bearer, is it pours the water out so that the people can have it. Well, what is that water? That's the question. I believe that water is knowledge. The thing is, the act of pouring out water is a turbulent act. Okay, this age was always going to be a turbulent age. Also, an enlightening one. So, what is the water?
Well, what is the water? Like Prometheus, he was pouring water when he gave man fire. That, like you said, the pouring out, the knowledge, fire being, that's one knowledge that the pouring out coming down, and that it's steady pouring out of the sun. Because we're steady getting, more and more solar eruptions, and that's what most of the scientists are scared of on Earth. I wish I would have had that one video I had that shows that the craft that gases up off the sun and then just shoots off. Like,
dude, no, don't worry about that. That's fine.
That's your people.
That's not my people. We don't need it. But a lot of the biological ET races out there, they need physical fuel for their ships.
That's something I thought about too. That
Can you guys hear
different
me?
dimensions.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Cool.
Let's see how long it lasts this time.
Yeah, it's not good.
You got any footage for us, Dakota, that we can dig our teeth into?
Well, it looks like, I got one of yours, Betty, here. So let's go ahead and play that.
The center star of the Orion Belt being seen from Houston, Texas, southwest H-Town. Zoom back so you guys can see. Zooming out so we can close in. I'm going to do CE5 protocol. It's already dancing. Hello, star, middle star. I see you're part of Orion's Belt. Can you communicate with me? Up and down for yes, side to side for no. Thank you. Are you here to help us? Awesome. There's that same star. I don't know if you can see the other stars that are around that Orion star there. I've got a lot of plane activity that I'm seeing. There's 2 stars up there. Let's see if I can't get that other one to show. It's right in there. There it is. It's blinking, but I don't. Show yourself, star. There you are. Don't hide. I see you.
You need a tripod.
Big time.
Got one. Yeah, I'll be walking with the phone. But yeah, that one was more of a night. I don't know if he has that one. I couldn't see real well, but there's one that YouTube, the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, because it shows the still footage, and then it shows me going from still to zooming in, and that's the best way to prove of that some of them interact, because like I said, when you got the meditation is what's so strong about it. because some of those stars, like I said, the same way that we have entities and the earth is alive, them stars are alive too. And everything in the universe is alive. That's why the meditation with Stephen Greer was one of the things I seen that he focuses on mainly, because all the time in most of his that you see him meditating on, standing on a rock doing, something like this, or, so meditation being the strongest avenue. It's like with Christo's mother's talking about the 3 ways to be baptized. One through water, being the desirable, the other through desire, and the other through blood being through martyrism, that you can be baptized. So you think about the ways that we go through earth. We go through earth through water. We're in a water world. We go through the desires of earth, where we die from desire. And then you think about the blood and all the bloodshed and different things like that. So, that's a whole different concept on, looking at everything.
This is so strange.
Yeah, I got a lot. My pieces are, like I said, because I'm in Houston, and it's like, look at the clouds in my pictures. Look at the formations. And, like I said, my scarphoma is, I'm not just looking at the stars. I be looking what's around the stars, because the one time there's one that I have the bright moon, and you can see like a craft right there. It looks like, to the plain eye, you would look up and be like, wow, that's a bright star next to it. And then you stop and look like, man, that look like a red light on top of that star. And then you're like, why is the moon so bright, like a silver nickel, just shining that bright? Like it looked like the sun was just dimmer in the nighttime with a craft up there.
See,
and go ahead.
That's why I encourage everybody, especially light workers, learn as much about science as you can.
Yes.
It's easier to break the laws of physics when you know what they are.
Right. And you can understand things better, because that's the whole thing, that, don't limit yourself to just one subject, because, everything is connected. That was pretty cool right there. I can't, see it too good. I got, something is blocking the light up in here. But, you have any other CE5s or?
I had the one YouTube link that you sent me earlier brought up right now, so. You want to play that?
It's not the one. It's not when you trapped me in the dimension there, or through the thunderstorm, or.
No.
Okay.
Dude, it was not wanting to let me upload most of the crap I was trying to get uploaded for tonight, to be completely honest. So here's another one of Benny's videos.
There's going to be part 2 that. Dakota and Cassidy bring me back from Mars.
Okay. Was stationary. Hello, Star. Do you see me?
See it blink?
Yes.
Blinking.
Are you a watcher?
Look how it jumped.
Well, there's multiple components to these. You got to understand the species you're trying to contact with these things. I mean, they are psychic.
Right. Exactly. And that's what they say, that, that with them having a telepathy already, that just lets me know that it's like when people be like scared, I'm like, they already know what you're thinking. So it's hard to guard your thoughts. Did I ask you that day? Because I asked one of y'all, I was like, well, how do you guard your thoughts? Loud. Yeah, I was like, how do you guard your thoughts?
Self-discipline. Part of it is understanding the difference between what you're projecting and what you're thinking. Most of these entities that are psychic, they really only can pick up what you're projecting. They'll tell you they can read your mind, but that's just a trick, So once you can, like, in your own self-discipline, figure out the difference, you're good.
I'm just thinking about that movie with what's his name, that they put the aluminum over their head and they're sitting there with Mel Gibson.
Sign.
Yeah.
I actually like that movie.
I did too. It spooked the heck out of me, man.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah,
I can't be afraid of any aliens that I can defeat by licking them. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
it's like
Kansas
all I gotta do
City.
is bust out a water gun and I can
Right.
fend off an alien invasion. Yeah, no.
I'm a 90s kid. We had super soakers. Sorry, buddy. Interesting movie, but the aliens just weren't scary to me, you know?
What is your most scariest alien movie that you watched, man? I mean, I love Alien versus Predator with the Sanaa
Yeah.
Lathan thing, but the scariest one to me was really the Ghost of Mars. It was something about it was just the ghost and being alien and on a different planet and all of that. Do you guys ever seen that movie?
Yeah, I liked it.
But what would you say was your favorite
I wanted to see more of the
alien
alien race, though.
movie? You know, because you probably have a vast amount of movies you've watched with that.
Well, my wife kind of taught me how to talk to humans through movies and television. So that's why I always have a movie reference or a song or something. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I learned, or rather relearned. My favorite is the Xenoverse, aliens, predators, all that stuff. Oh my god, I can get into the lineage of Broken Tusk. You know, I'm just way too into that series. I don't find it scary though. You know.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm on a new device. Maybe this will work.
I think my favorite or the scariest one has to be probably the Blob, possibly the Thing.
Oh, that was a good one. The Mist. That was a weird one. Mist was real. That kind of.
I like that one. The idea of water vapor carrying around a dimensional charge that intrigued the shit out of me.
Commander.
But it wasn't scary. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Daisy.
No, I think she had somebody knocking on the door on her end.
Okay.
You there, Daisy? I think she said she was at the store.
I am. My daughter just came in the room.
Cool.
I'll try to not cuss so much.
Oh, she's old.
Okay.
Well, shit. I mean,
she's 26.
I'm a minister. I'm cussing? I'm goodness.
Oh, yeah.
What is today? Friday?
Yeah, but
some of
these
these
ministers do.
So, Cass, I have a question for you. Maybe we can talk about. I know Dakota talks about having hybrid children and stuff like that.
Right.
And I believe I'm part of a breeding program. Do you feel like we're going to be liberated at any time?
Yes.
Okay.
Soon.
Okay.
Define liberated, you all. What do you guys mean liberated?
Well, for me, it's out of the breeding programs, and stop with that.
Yeah. There are multiple levels of what's going on. There are teams in multiple areas. The primary focus, in my opinion, is the freeing of the Earth Spirit of Terra. The freeing of Terra. Once Terra is free, the Matrix will break. It'll be fine. You know. Now, as far as while we're stuck here, that's a bit of another story, and that basically involves a lot of psychic and astral combat. The enemy has put a great deal of effort into wiping out all the cultures that could have helped.
Okay.
You see, this is one of the reasons why getting the trip to Egypt is so imperative. You know, that's why I'm out here making
I'm very interested in that.
Well, I talked to somebody and I found a new way to talk to people about it, and that might help.
Okay.
And without getting into too much detail, I have a working hypothesis involving the machines that I've talked about underneath Giza before. Yes. I have a working hypothesis about why I think they're there. And that was the part I had to get past. I kept jumping ahead to the machine instead of starting with the hypothesis.
Okay.
So without getting into the whole thing, I want you guys to understand humans built the pyramids, all right? Not aliens. Sorry. Now, the reason why humans built the pyramids is because there were not all the pyramids, but the great pyramids. What a lot of people don't know is that the various pyramids that you would call great pyramids are built on very, very specific spots around the planet. It creates like a grid around the equator. Okay. The purpose of the pyramid at Giza, I don't know. what its original purpose is. But we do know that it houses something called the Disk of a 10, which we actually have LiDAR information indicating that the fucking thing's really there, you know? So if we can get to the Disk of a 10, the whole purpose of the Disk of a 10 is to repel the attacks. Now,
Okay.
whatever forms those attacks may be. And keep in mind, the ancient Egyptians recorded the problems with the sun, what human scientists would call the solar axiom. They called it like Ra getting angry and shit. So, Disk of a 10. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole idea is get there, activate the disk, rebuild the grid.
Okay.
You know, see, the grid isn't a technological construct, believe it or not. It's not something that people ever made. It's a natural consequence of a gravitational field.
Okay.
I'm trying to not use big science words. I'm told that's annoying. The problem is that the grid has been very, very, very severely damaged by multiple kinds of radiations, including nuclear weapons, nuclear power plants, things like that. Nuclear radiation is a lot more dangerous than people realize, especially gamma radiation. It affects multiple dimensions, not just this one.
Okay.
You know. Mm-hmm. So the grid has been damaged by a great number of things, but it's a natural combination of essentially consciousness plus the electromagnetic field, right?
Okay.
Like, kind of think of like the Northern Lights, but in reverse. So nobody built the thing. It's just a natural consequence of sapient people living in a gravity well, but it can be damaged, you know, especially with all the psychological discord, the chaos, the hysteria, you know. And that's where the attack on Earth comes in, which is, this is something that you guys can track it yourselves, especially if you know how to read the NASA satellites. Especially if you know about the Schumann resonances, because that shows a great deal. The planet is under attack from a non-planetary source. Okay, they know right where it's coming from, but there's nothing there that they can see. But what it's doing is it's just pouring this discordant electromagnetic radiation into the environment, so that essentially, okay, you know how under a full moon things get crazier, right?
Of course, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what this is doing, it's creating a 24/7 full moon that never dissipates, and is just building and building and building and building. So this is creating a great deal of hysteria in people's thought processes, which damages the grid, because the grid is very very sensitive to that kind of thing. So when the visitors and the starseeds and the light workers, when they say we have to repair the grid, what they mean is that we have to repair the psychological oneness between us. You know.
Okay.
Now, I don't mean people lay down your arms and stop fighting your primates. That's just part of who you are. What I do mean, though, is that there used to be like a basic respect. You know, even murderers, there was a basic respect. That's why like guys like Sweeney Todd are so gruesome. You know, because for most of human history, that was just unfathomable. Yeah, people do brutal crap to each other, but not that crazy crap. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Dakota, I'm interested to hear again. I heard a little bit before about your hybrid children and how you know about them.
Well, it's the fact that by all means, everyone I spoke to. Yeah, you just said your daughter's 26, right?
Yes.
Your daughter's the same age as me. And I'm still trying to figure everything out. So just to kind of give you my earliest thing that I physically remember happened when I was 5. That was when I ended up 30 miles away from home one night. You know, but I go to talk to old babysitters, my relatives, and they're just looking at me like, dude, weird shit's been happening around you since you could talk. Like, couldn't you tell me this sooner?
Strange.
They're probably scared.
One of my son's first 10 words was reptilian, and he never quit.
Oh no, Dakota! No, he did it to me again. Damn it, Dakota. Sending me in other dimensions. I'll be back soon. Yeah, I'm sorry. Dakota sent me to the 7th realm. Yeah, I'll be back. Turn my mic
okay.
off.
I can't tell if we're joking or not.
Yeah, no, you got to be careful when you're around me. But it's like when I was talking with Cassidy last night is that for me, the situation here has been kind of gradual, and anytime during normal development stages when psychic abilities may just manifest just because of puberty and all of that, the timing in my life just happened to suck where a near death experience would add in a DMT boost.
Okay.
That seems to be the most prevalent theory of why there's so much detail behind it. By all means, technically, I'm not supposed to know about my kids yet.
No,
Okay.
that's part that he's right. People aren't supposed to know about this shit, and it causes serious problems sometimes. Me neither.
And there was a point when I was about 12 years old where I tried to take my own life, and all of a sudden I have this little girl who looks just like me.
Mhm.
Now, see, I've had a pretty rough idea of what my kids would look like, simply because I have an uncle on my mom's side who, even though he's 20 years older than me, we look like we could be twins.
Okay.
And his kid, he and I look and act so much alike that his kids, when they're not paying attention and I'm around, his kids will call me dad without realizing it.
Okay.
So I've always had kind of a rough point. When I was 12, all of a sudden there's this little girl that pops up in this vision, says, "Daddy, please don't do it." Technically, that wasn't supposed to happen, but by all means, they knew that was going to be the one thing that would shake my attention just enough to stick around to find out what was happening.
Okay.
Then
You were 12?
Yeah,
Oh
when
my
the
goodness.
first one showed up.
Oh my goodness.
See, it was March of last year. There was an incident where I was taken to what looked like a futuristic hospital room.
Okay.
I see this woman lying in a bed holding a baby, and that little girl's right there over her shoulder. She looks at me, she gets all excited, says, "Daddy, come meet my new baby brother." This was
Oh
March
my
of
goodness.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another little girl that popped up about a month ago. So I'm now up to 3.
Okay.
But it's because I did so much looking into it and managed to find out that this is what's going on. And while I'll admit, yes, when I started looking into it, it fucked with my head.
Yeah, it does.
It's first off, 12 years old, I'm being told I'm a father,
Why?
even though it'd be about another 2 years before I had my first kiss.
Okay.
So by all means, if all of a sudden I have a kid out there, somebody's got some explaining to do.
Do you have a feeling on what race that you're mixing with?
They say that they're Pleiadian.
Okay. See, for women who are in this, it messes with your mind so severely, and there's no one you can talk to for help because everybody would just think you were crazy. But when this was happening to me in 2018, they were giving, I'm clairaudient, so I hear, and they were giving me a play-by-play, exactly what was going on, exactly the process, where I was in the process. And, to think that I have other children out there is just, it's wild. It really, really messes with your head.
Oh, no, and I was just about to answer Cass's question. A part of me almost started feeling guilty.
Yeah.
Because there's been...
I understand that.
Because my father wasn't exactly around, and I would swear up and down that I would not allow history to repeat. So if I had kids out there, I wanted to know, I want to be a fucking part of their lives,
Yeah.
So, okay, granted, they're from outer space. Okay, that's a valid reason for them not to necessarily be around, but it was an adjustment period.
What if I were to tell you, okay, that she couldn't have made that contact unless your bond up there was just as strong?
Ooh, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Okay? Don't worry about abandoning children. Now, in the case of actually, now that I think about it, that holds true for the non-consensual ones too, because those kids are placed in like a military program. So they still have a family. They're still not abandoned.
Yeah.
It may not be a step in the right direction, but still.
See, this is why I'm actually wanting to put together kind of a documentary, being that there's supposed to be a grand reveal here in the next few years. Walk people through the emotional steps of accepting that there's something else out there. Granted, my story sounds like, a kid looking for his long lost relatives with a really weird sci-fi twist to it. So, if by some chance my story can help, and just the suicide prevention part of it has helped a lot of people, and if that's all they take from it, awesome. I just wanted to know what was going on, and I was still trying to come to terms to what was happening. Now that I've had some time to adjust and learn, I know that clearly, like you said, the bond is up there still strong, because by all means, it sounds like my kids are just as stubborn as I am and wanting to come down here as much as I want to go up there.
That should be a clue that you raised them.
Cass, do you think we're living in two places at once?
Oh, God, yes. Oh, yes.
Do you believe in the concept of a higher self?
Absolutely.
You do? Okay.
So, firstly, the higher self, depending on what level you're talking about, a lot of people reference different levels. Like, for example, when they say we are all one, that's literally true on a high enough level of consciousness. You know what I mean? So the question is, what target? What dimension? The higher dimensions, like fifth, seventh, etc., they're a lot stronger than this one. So souls don't have to break up quite as much to enter them. See, the higher self is one of the most powerful things in the omniverse. Entering into a world as feeble as the third dimension would destroy it. So souls can't really enter here without breaking up. Now, that doesn't count like gods and angels and stuff. That's a whole nother level of that we're not even dealing with. But for example, when your soul came here from the Well of Souls, from the Guff, you had to split into at least 7 people. So at some point in time around the world, there were 7 of you.
Okay.
Tapping into the right part of your brain, you can tap into those other lives, and they can tap into you, and it's very, very comforting. I find it.
You can switch. You switch out, in and out.
That I can't. I've never been able to do that, but I've heard of people that could. I've never been able to do that. I can remember the ones I focus in on, just like they can remember me, but I can't switch out. So otherwise, it would have been, see y'all. Never can deal with this.
So even you as a different entity, we know you're Lyran. Even you coming into the human realm, you have the same 7 that everybody else has.
Yeah, because it's not a matter of like how strong I am or anything like that, or weak. It's a matter of how strong this reality is.
Okay,
it's pretty fragile.
Well, reality is different for different people. The mental health reality is different for them, so that could be
also
difference. And and that could be one because they do say that the brain scans the difference between psychopathic and normal brain, but then psychopathic is right there next to genius also. So.
And love is psychochemically, love is no different than large quantities of chocolate.
Life is like a box of chocolates. Now you got me hungry. Now I want some chocolate. See, the pie suggested at work again.
So that's one thing that I want, like one of my takeaways for the episode, folks, is I want to apologize. This is an apology. I don't mean to sound like Mr. Brainy Smurf know-it-all. I really, really don't.
Yes,
it's just we appreciate that.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I really am trying to get better. All I'm trying to do is say, hey, this is what I know. Maybe you know something different. Let's test it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I never meant to, like when I said I have questions, it wasn't, I've got questions. It was, I have questions.
Yeah.
Can we use this to beat the crap out of Moloch? That's always going to be my first question, folks. Go hand me a cherry pie. Can I kill Moloch with it?
Who is Moloch?
The child eater. He has many names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you were speaking about when you were talking on that show about they're taking the kids and? Is that what that must be too?
Yes. We will kill Moloch. That is nature.
What is he in relation to you?
enemy. It sounds like you're gonna kill him.
Visceral enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that, but like in stature and being, is he in the same dimensions and the same?
Beyond human is the consciousness, the higher self, right? And that's where the reincarnation stuff happens.
Okay.
What I was back home, and this is why I liked back home better than pretty much anywhere I've ever been. Although here is pretty damn good too. The thing is we are travelers. All right. We're blue sphere entities. We are energy beings. Even like back home, I was still this. You see what I mean? But back home on amongst the Lyrans, I mean, it's just a natural part of life. You know, you're just all right, cool. You're an EBE, cool. So's John. Build that wall. Bake me some cookies. Make me a sandwich. You know, you're just a guy. You know, you're just nothing special. And the reason for that is because the Lyrans understood on an instinctive level by that point in their evolution, that it's all the same. Okay, so I'm from the blue sphere. They're from the green sphere. We're all sphere buddies. You know what I mean? Moloch is an entity from the red spectrum.
Okay.
Very, very high intensity. Very, very, very magically dense, I guess is a good way to put it. Energetically dense.
Okay.
So it's not an angel. People will say it's a fallen angel. It's not. It's a predator, you know. And what these beings eat isn't skin and bone and flesh. It's energy. It's emotion. It's the residue caused by your thought waves moving through reality. And that's where they become natural allies with the Dracos, hence the association. But they're not really the same entities, right? The Loquogoth are enslaving the Alpha Dracos the same way they're trying to enslave this world. Okay. I've said at the very beginning, and I'll keep saying it. If you guys could find it in your hearts to forgive the Dracos and free them, they will be your bosom buddies for the life age of this universe. Okay. Until you hit energy. All right. They don't want to be here any more than you do. But unfortunately, once the Loquogoth get their fangs in you and begin to suck your energy, your blood, your loosh, as Bradley would say, you know, they kind of got you by the balls.
Okay.
So
no, not the balls again. Let the ball. Okay, never mind.
Well, Betty quit flashing them.
All races understand that one.
Hey, look, I only have so many left. I'm trying to put these in now. So, hey, this.
Okay, are they salty chocolate balls?
Yes.
I'm not going to sing the song. This is the wrong show.
Harry and David.
Salted chocolate ball.
Harry and David repair my ball treats. So thank you for whoever sent these to me out there. I love you. They're delicious. And the nutritional facts I didn't read because I'm still here. And I have astral help up there. I have astral advice over there. I got astral love over there. And that's why I'm still here. And like he was just talking about energy. And I'm tell you, I don't know if I told you guys some of this, what happened at the hospital. I get a chance to tell you, Cassie. The nurse that was first there, I felt like she was twisting my finger off, dog, because my thing the growth was inside of the sac of my testicles. It wasn't like what you had said. You was describing something totally different than when you had said the comment that everybody made so big. Because you said your intestines will fall out of something. But what happened was my bowels had got pushed down into the sac because I already had an intestinal hernia.
Well, the bowels are intestines, aren't they?
Well, that's what exactly. That's the point. That was the point.
He's making the medical difference.
Okay.
It makes it medical because it's just the track of the intestines. So that's why, to do a curse, if he would have been specific. And that's where I knew, exactly, the way I think and being, the backtracker, that's why I was like, and then talking to you and you told me what things that could help me. You had described the bile and spitting up if it was to be healing. The bile came out, and let me just tell you what happened. So when everything was going bad and the thing was getting bigger and I heard my sac just ripping, you could hear it because the vibration, when you hear something on your own body, You know what it feels like when you feel yourself get cut. You're like, so I hear the sack ripping because here in the room when they couldn't get the gurney up, so I had to stand up because the firemen, they all tough and rough pulling me up. I mean, I'm 185 pounds now. I mean, my fighting weight was 210, but so I feel lighter. So like I'm hearing it ripping all the way to the hospital. And I'm telling these people because they had to put the stitches down there because it was ripping, but they was ignoring me. So I got a sack that's about growing the size of my head because I'm stressing out, and it's in the bowels. So what the bowels catch was going into there with the stress, with the blood pumping right there next to the vein. So it was like, yeah. So they was like,
too, didn't you?
Exactly. So they was like, you've got to relax. And I couldn't hear relax because I was so angry. So what I said was, Father God, please bring Thoth, as you say, bring Thoth to give them the wisdom for the doctors to save my life, and give them put the electromagnetic energy of your energy into the machines to help save my life. Because this phone was on my chest like this, right? And it was dead because I was waiting because they transferred from bed to bed. So I was like, I need the charger. I need to make a call, let somebody know I was alive, because I had a nurse that was trying to break my fingers, and she was doing all kind of weird shit. And my sister worked for this hospital. So all of a sudden, when I prayed this prayer, all of a sudden the phone came on. Another nurse came in, and she was so pretty brown eyes. She didn't even look like she belonged in there. Here comes a doctor, look just like Dakota, but smaller and shorter. The only difference is he looked like somebody had carried him in by his nose. Like somebody brought him in there, and he was just the nicest guy. But like I said, I was so tense. He was getting up there, and I finally heard him say, relax. Then I heard Sherry Brett say, relax, Benny. So I took a deep breath. The doctor got up there. Dakota's once again up here in my hospital room. And then I just seen him go like this, and then I was out. So whatever came in is where that stitch thing, I took the Band-Aid off earlier today, is what they brought out. But I didn't stay because they said that they was gonna, because they MRI'd me and x-rayed my shoulder, because they said something was irregular there and something was irregular in whatever was down there.
Right.
But like I said, when I woke up, Bradley was calling me and everything. We was talking about the summit. So I went from there, and then I had to get home to Miss Kathy, the lady I take care of. So I haven't got a chance to look at that. So that's one of those I really want to see, but I don't know what to be looking for. Because like you were saying, that black bile was inside of me, because in the x-ray, it just looked like a dark cloud or something down there. So I was like, yeah. But yeah, that was a spooky coincidence too. Like I said, that's seemed like third life, near-death experiences. I'm like, Cat's got 9 lives. I thought people only had like 1 or 2. Why they keep leaving me around here, man? So Dakota can send me the other dimensions or what? What's going on here, man? I don't know.
I don't mean to sound like never-ending story, but you have as many lives as you choose to. You just have to make the choice in the right spot. Don't make the choice here, or here. Make it up here.
I like what you were saying a minute ago about the 7 dimensions, because I was telling them earlier how I got mad when it seemed like I stepped into another dimension, because the plate and everything seemed like it just shifted, like gravity shifted all of a sudden.
Right.
And instead of, I was going up the steps, but I stepped up and down all of a sudden, and everything on the plate fell off. Like right now, it's like I'm going, like I go one motion, and then I just get the thought of another motion. It feels like everything is pulling me down.
Who is this?
That's his wife.
No.
That's not your wife? Is she available?
That's a child, isn't it?
That was his wife.
Did this doctor look a bit like that?
Yes, but she had brown eyes. Remember,
That's an actual picture of your wife.
She had that type of hair.
No, that's not the wife.
That's
the wife.
Right, correct.
So the other one's that. I was right. That's his daughter, isn't it?
Yeah, this one, but with
That's
her
my
hair,
son.
her hair pulled back though, but and
Really?
her eyes like a light brown, and like that Asian light brown. And
He may have a pee-pee, but that's not a son. No, can't you see the female energy just pouring out the eyes?
Yeah.
You know,
Right?
He definitely looks more like get more of his mother's eyes, but it's just.
No,
I don't know.
what freaks me out is the energy coming through where there's no people there. That's freaky.
Remember how I said I used that parent-child? That's how I made those pictures.
Nicely done.
How?
Done.
Explain
the
that
offer
to
still
me.
stands, though.
All right. Everybody knows the little mobile phone app called Face App that everybody was freaking out about because they realized it was created by Russian developers a little while ago, right?
No, but go ahead.
I know what you're talking about.
Basically, you're supposed to, put your picture in it and do all sorts of fun effects, make yourself look older, make yourself look younger.
Like the one that turns you into, like it reads your face and then shows you what you would have looked like if you were born on the opposite gender or sex or whatever.
Yeah.
Minutes.
Okay.
Oh, there's a little thing that dances above you.
Right.
Also, Cassie, you got to realize if I angle my face wrong with this damn filter, it says I'm a woman.
Dude, I played with that thing for 8 hours to get one picture perfect. I know the pain.
So, basically, when my children started to appear to other people, there was this ghost hunting group out of Ontario. They do a podcast. They sent me a recording of what sounded like a little girl screaming "mommy." Sounded like there was something else a little bit beforehand, but it's legitimately sounded like a child was tired and calling for mommy so she could go to bed. That was just the energy off of it. I've done some experiments to try to get EVPs of my daughter. I knew the voice right away. Now, this was before I started looking into the ET side of things. The working theory I was going on was some sort of weird time travel. So with this program, you're supposed to be able to take like your face and say like a random celebrity. It'll mash them together and try to give you a picture of what your kids might look like.
Okay.
So
I'm suddenly nervous.
The woman in this group, she had the blonde hair. She had a lot of the same facial structure that you would associate with the tall whites. The very pronounced cheekbones, the chisel facial structure, stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You did a good job is what I'm trying to say.
So, working off this theory, I found an old photo of her that showed her face a little bit more directly into the camera, ran it with mine, produced an image of a child that added just like layers of like baby fat to kind of match the age the child was manifesting around. Then I sent her the photo without telling her how I made it. Because how do I go to say, oh, this may be our child without sounding creepy?
I can actually understand that one, having gone through the 80s.
She said it was an exact match to the little girl that she was seeing, physically seeing manifest. And one of the first things she could tell is like, Dakota, that's definitely your daughter. She's got your height, your face, everything.
Right.
That is
I have something
really
to chime in on,
interesting.
but I'm waiting until you be done.
No, go ahead.
Daisy was first.
Okay.
No, I was just saying that's really cool.
And I was just going to add up that about 15 people came to me saying that this same little girl was coming up to them, some of them who had dealt with spiritual attacks that got pretty nasty. Like this one girl that was doing the podcast that ran as the potential mother in the program. She had to seek mental health help after an incident. Another guy, he had to deal with more cancer treatments. I showed them all the exact same photo. Had some of them not been wearing glasses, their eyes probably would have popped out of their skulls from the shock. So in order to create the image of my son and my wife, basically I flipped I turned on the male filter on my daughter's photo to get a boy photo. Then the idea was presented to me that if I had a wife up there, chances are I would be subconsciously trying to look for someone who looked a lot like her in my relationships down here. So I would run the filters. I would sit back and think of women I've been attracted to, think women I've been with over the years. Try to mentally map out. Okay, they had the cheekbones, a certain facial structure, and try to find celebrities that had those traits to basically weed out the parts in my daughter's image that were me in order to create my wife's photo. I did that until I started breaking down into tears because it was like I found a photo of someone I thought I lost all photos of someone I wasn't going to ever be able to see again, out of a random book or something. Just to kind of describe the feeling, but what's going on, Cassidy?
I just thought something, and I don't want the audience to turn it into poo poo.
Well, rip the Band-Aid. Come on.
Hold on. The two different parts of my personality are fighting to get what they want to say said first. All right, so the female part of my personality is absolutely just like, oh my God, this story is so cute. And the reason why, how well do you know your Greek mythology?
Yeah, basic concepts.
A little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I said that you're reminding me of Pygmalion, would you understand me, or would you think I'm calling you fat?
No, I get it.
See, that's right. Now, okay, good. That was the response. I was like, no, he might get offended.
Pygmalion, what?
Okay, so Pygmalion was an artist in Athens, and Pygmalion made a statue, and the statue was of his ideal woman, the woman he'd been dreaming of his whole life. Poor some bitch fell in love with the statue. And the thing is, that's not uncommon with artists, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They Might Be Giants even has a song about it called "The Statue Got Me High." So the thing is he had made the statue so perfect of his soulmate that Aphrodite said, you know what? Here she is. And put her soul into the statue. You see?
Oh.
So you're reminding me of Pygmalion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a compliment, broski. But it starts with pigs, so I was like, I don't know if I should say this.
I've learned quickly enough with you, the cast, that it's like, I would. This is why when shit started going sideways, I wanted to reach out to you one-on-one to find out what you were saying, not what everybody else thought you were saying.
See, that's one of the reasons why I believe you, because at that exact moment I was looking you up to send you a note saying, I don't blame you for this shit, right? and do me a favor, clarify this for the whole audience, because some of the people are here and Shan's going to see it. Is not one of the very first things that came out of my mouth was Shan and Benny were cool.
Yeah.
Booyah! Take that, rumor mongers.
I love Shannon Boomgard. We don't agree all the time, but
Not
that's
Shannon
just like
Boomgard. Shan Glim.
I do
Shannon
know
B is
Shannon.
another subject.
You mean Sherry, who was on the panel and kind of going at you?
No.
It starts with an SH.
No,
I meant no disrespect. That's the head injury. I apologize. There are too many. There's Shannon, and then there's Shannon B, and then there's Sherry, and then there's Sherry, and then there's Sherry.
Right.
We have a lot of SH names in the group.
We really do.
Yeah.
That's why I started putting nicknames on people in the group so that I could know the difference, who I was talking to, because we had a bunch of Bradleys too. I didn't know which Bradley C, Bradley this, and Bradley. I was like, wow, what Bradley? And then Bradley had about 5 different Bradleys. So I was like, I don't know what Bradley is he manifesting into different Bradleys? I don't know. I'm just kidding. Hey,
that
what's
would
going
be
on,
funny.
Mr.
Like you
Dragon?
whack him in the back of the head, and a bunch of Bradleys come out. But yeah, no, that whole thing was nobody's fault. Like the audience was just trying to protect you, broski. You know, and they thought, here I am coming
I
along,
appreciate it.
doing my Brandy Smurf thing, and I'm an asshole. So I'm sure I said something wrong or had a wrong tone or something. I'm sure I did something wrong.
Well,
It is not her fault, and it sure as fuck ain't Benny's fault.
Well, you know me, I've never been an asshole in my life. You know, the
Oh
upstanding
yeah,
citizen.
true.
never.
I went
Yeah.
to reform school myself. You know, I know nothing about the streets, and I resent all that you guys are saying about my better judge. Okay, I'm full of shit.
I love
Like
you
I
too,
said,
broski.
that's why you guys are the shit, man. That's why, you know, in that show that I was like that people might not understand, you know, the personalities because, you know, there's new personalities, but you're not a new personality. You've been the same personality for a while. You know, that's what I said that but when people wow at the things that you say and the knowledge, that's why I'm like, you know, you're not dealing with the normal person. Everybody out there, they ain't normal. Them guys, she normal. We normal down here. We got problems. Them two up there, they ain't normal.
Well,
We
no, we're
go.
not
We
normal.
go. No,
We're
you're
not.
not.
We're not normal,
And you're
but there
great.
are other members of our species here. And that's one of the reasons why
Mhm.
I've been saying that Disclosure is getting a kick in the ass from the other side. You know, everybody's tired of it. And I'm not sure we're the same species. I shouldn't have said it that way. I suspect we have similar chromosomal mutations, right? But I don't know yet. We're gonna find out.
You in Dakota?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the thing is, Daisy, we have to realize with the Pleiadians, a majority of them are Lyran descendants.
Yeah.
When shit fell in Lyra, that was one of the places they went. It was my understanding they actually terraformed a lot of the planets there because they weren't quite ready
I don't know about
to
that.
sustain complex life. This is one of the theories I'm going through. I'm still trying to sort through my own shit.
No. That was no. What I mean, that was before my time. That was like ancient history. You know, I don't even trust my own people's writings anymore. The spirit of deception is too strong. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I say I don't know about that. Well, it wasn't like I don't know about that. It was like, oh, I don't know about that.
This comes from that Elena Denon that everybody hears me always talking about. It's out of her books that she mentions it. So, but seriously, check her out, man.
She seems to be in the same ballpark as Dolores Cannon,
I like
just from what I've heard about it.
I have one of her books.
I planned to read it.
It's like I've had her on the show a few times and personally been in contact with her to try to figure this stuff out because there was stuff that she was saying she was experiencing and stuff I'm experiencing that was overlapping. So I figured, you know, best person to ask about why some random stranger has a picture of my grandma in their house is that random stranger.
Well, that goes back to Daisy's original question about the breeding programs, you know, and the answers are highly variable, but there's the good and the bad. But I mean, quite frankly, it's entirely possible that, you know, one of your Pleiadian light ancestors, you know, seeded your grandma, you know, and I don't mean that in the naughty way. You know, it was the Pleiadians that originally figured out the genetic way around what the Anunnaki did, you know, so.
They tell me that my makeup is very universal and it combines with many things, many races. At this moment in time, and things change, but I believe I'm of a satanic bloodline.
And satanic in what way? That means that has too many connotations for me.
Yeah.
Reptilian.
That's not satanic. What kind of reptilian are you thinking?
Well, I see a white one with wings that don't actually fly. They're like flaps.
Gotcha. Right.
And I have a name for him. I call him Tony. And he, I guess, is one of three.
Hey,
Tony.
Forget about it.
I don't know where they fit in.
Okay. We'd have to explore it more, but just on first glance from what you're describing, it sounds to me like you're basically part of one of the Alpha Dracos, and that's probably why you're having a negative impregnation experience.
Okay.
You know, and again, if that's the case, basically what you need to do is next time you're up there, send up a beacon. If one of us doesn't hear it, an angel will.
Okay.
Now, for those of you who might experience it as at home, right, what I want you to visualize is all of your faith. I don't care what you have faith in. You could have a faith in a banana sandwich, a talking banana sandwich from beyond the cosmos. Okay, I don't care. It's the energy we need, right? What I want you to do is compress that energy inside, right? Just push it all the way down, almost like you're like, you know how when you're scared and you don't want to be, so you push it down. Firefly quote, but still, right? You could do the same thing with faith. The difference is nobody can keep faith contained. Now, do you know the difference between an explosion and a forced chamber explosion?
No.
Okay, so like put a firecracker, put it on your hand, and another quote, another movie quote. You can thank Shannon for these. Put a firecracker in the middle of your hand and set it off. You'll burn your hand. What happens if you put that same firecracker in your fist? You're going to blow your hand apart.
Yeah.
That's a forced chamber explosion. So what you're doing is you're compressing your faith down until it bangs out of you until you can't control it anymore, because you won't be able to. The point is to make it burst out like a big, you see what I mean? And for those of you who can see energy, I apologize. Somebody will see it. Dakota will see it. The other SH woman who I offended the other day, she'll see it.
Sherry.
Yeah, she'll see it. I don't know if Bradley can see these things or not, but there are members in our group that can see them, and Dakota's one of them, I'm assuming. He said, waiting for an answer.
You know, I've been clairaudient for about 8 years, and the first 4 years were extremely, extremely difficult. I had pain all the time in different random parts of my body, emotional abuse 24/7, everything I did. And 2019 came, and it just kind of fell away. And the contact has been more, it's not polite, but it's not what it was.
Okay. I'm going to say something, and I'm not bragging. Okay. Remember what I said earlier about violence?
Yep.
Harmed children or mothers, and all bets are off. Does the person who abused you still live?
Yes.
Talk to me later about this.
Okay.
That's why I said earlier, you know, the only possible scenario in which what happened to him was my fault is if he tried to take a run on Anna. But that entity, I only shot it with a warning shot. I wouldn't have had that effect. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not even sure if I could do that. But there are other things, and we'll be talking about them.
Okay.
But yeah, so like I said, compress that faith until it bursts out. Somebody will see it.
Okay.
Just be careful. If it is me that's seeing it, whoever I keep abducting, apparently I'm seeing them naked. So
I don't think you're abducting people. I think what's happening is that people are tuning into you through their belief, and you're taking them with you when you fly. Does that make sense?
But they're still naked, man.
Okay, I can't do anything about
way
that
too
part.
much of Betty. I did not want to see that much of Betty.
Stop looking at me. There he's sitting there again.
Daisy got it.
Lord.
Daisy got it. I can't do anything about that part.
I feel like this right now. I'm missing the parts.
Okay. All right. About 50 porn jokes came to mind. Damn.
And let's just say there's been a point. I tested this when I was able to name a particular birthmark on somebody's abdomen. Not you, Benny. Somebody else that was one of my victims.
We've had enough of your abdomen.
Do you know where my birthmark is? It's on my butt. It looks like a damn. That's kind of strange to me too. How the birthmarks come about.
As far as I recall, anal probing is a human invention.
Actually,
no, man.
What?
I'm trying to skip past the anal probe because that's my favorite part.
Whoa!
my
Notice I got really big hands.
Smaller.
Oh my god.
No, okay, actually, I got an idea for you, Dakota. Do you mind if it's not insulting? Like, I get insulted when people ask me to do stupid psychic pet tricks. Can you guess my birthmark? My birthmark.
I can.
All right. Who can guess my birthmark?
Where it is?
And
the information, you get bonus points for each information you get right.
I've got a feeling it's on your head or on your foot.
Back of your arm.
and it's a triangle, head or foot and a triangle.
Dakota.
Towards your left side. About right here.
Right here. On his foot, right foot.
There's some kind of triangle.
Mm-hmm. I got a triangle off the top.
See, I'm not very confident in this.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
I'll admit.
Okay. So we're all right. I have a third nipple, and you were right. It's right here. It's
Wow.
not on the same spot you said here, but if you follow the chakra meridian, it's right here. So you were actually very close. And when you were talking about the triangle, Benny, it makes a triangle.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I gotta check my foot. Who said foot?
Me, right
Hold on,
foot.
let me a second. Let me check my foot.
Yeah, you might have 2 birthmarks because I do. I have one on both
Right.
buttocks.
Right. And I'm blind. I wouldn't know. It's like it's been 6.5 feet away from me for 40 years. So.
And mine's been back there. You guys want to see the one on my since y'all guys seen it? Okay.
No.
Dakota's already seen it.
Good job, Dakota.
It's like you gotta realize when I'm seeing these people, I'm seeing them like physically laying down in a bed, like I'm a doctor about to perform surgery or something. So it's just like kind of a one-off thing. I remember seeing out of the corner of my eye. It was like, okay, dude, I had to ask. Do you have like a birthmark around here?
Cool.
This guy, I don't see him doing any magic mic routines anytime soon. So I wouldn't see that being readily knowledgeable information unless his girlfriend were to spit something at me. I don't know.
And just so it's on record, I can't do Magic Mike unless we're at a drag club.
Whoa!
Is that a prerequisite or what? Now let me ask you this, everybody here, because Daisy said that to let her know if we did the sounds. And okay, Sherry is talking about coming into the show.
Yay!
And that would be awesome. And that, because I told her that, we've all talked about and everything. And, I've expressed so many times for you, Cassie, because I love you, man. I love you and Dakota and Dakota and Daisy and all of us just trying to figure out, all the madness that happened, and people blaming people for me getting sick and all that. I'm like, let's get past that. We got some good shows and shit to talk about, and I know that Sherry, she might have been offended. She might have been this and that might have been that, but I know she's the same light worker and energy that you guys are. So, us, we all got our own, personalities. Mine is probably big. Now mine ain't bigger than Cassidy's. I can't
I
say
like
that.
Sherry a lot.
Dude, she and I get along great normally. You know what I mean?
You guys-
Whatever I did the other day, I admit I did the thing.
She's coming.
I don't
Come
know.
on,
I'll be
Sherry.
honest.
Where you
From what I've seen with Sherry lately, something personal is
She's
bugging
coming.
her. It doesn't exactly feel like my place to start asking questions.
She's coming in, I believe.
Have faith that
Be
everything will
waiting.
be okay.
Yes.
I know a little bit more than I'm allowed to say on the subject. It's going to be okay. Okay.
Yes.
Bless her. God bless her.
Say,
So, Cass,
And like I said,
I am afraid a little bit that the beings around me are Red Spear.
Me too. Because Red Spear got me scary.
The Laquogoth are infecting pretty much every aspect of this planet. If you want to, we can come check. And if they are, they taste like chicken.
It's like, pretty sure I ripped one of their heads off. So
I worry a lot, though. I am personally comfortable with the level of contact that I'm receiving right now.
Okay.
But I don't want to transfer it on to anybody by, in any way. So with Anna, I was always, we would do video calls and stuff, and there was some times when I just had to say, I have to go. Something's going on and I don't want it to leak out onto you. So I just worry about that all the time.
That's noble of you. Most of the humans I've encountered would try to bleed her for everything she could do for them.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. She's a wonderful little girl.
And I have to admit, and I want to admit this publicly, I'm not Anna's daddy. I know that, but there's that part of me that misses Shar that sees a lot of the same vibrations.
I bet I do too, actually.
Oh, good.
Very much so. Is that painful for you?
Yeah, I'm sending chills.
Oh, unbelievably.
Yeah,
but the love is worth it. The love is better.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's sending chills to me, man.
I swear I'm not doing anything.
No, it's Cassidy. It was like when I felt before when she came in. Because when Cassidy, I sent him a message when that had happened, that his daughter said to tell him that she loves him. That's what the message was. And there we just got chills. I'm not gonna go there, but she's with you. She's with you when you talk about her a lot. He knows that he brings her, and she kind of travels like that Tilcum, like the little being that Greer and them found, that she's figured out the energy to be able to come and go. And that's awesome. That's why I said I think that Mrs. Kathy's father had figured that out, how to be able to, once he goes to that other side, to manifest in an energy form.
You guys, I will be right back. I'm going to mute for a second.
Okay. Because like I said, it's possible.
I desperately want to meet Dr. Greer. Out of all of the ufologists, it's Dr. Greer. The reason why is because, number one, I can help him, and that's usually my first priority. But number two, he can help me. I've had a little bit of contact with him. He believes me about who I am. It's just I need more information for him. And we could take his career to the next level if he would give us the time of day.
Well, you were talking about that retreat that you was going to set up. You get that retreat set up, because I'm going. Not just the Egypt, but you was talking about, when we was talking about that day about having a chance to relax, and for, the psychics and everything, or a chance for them to, like a workout session, a gym for the psychics to relax your mind around some, ley lines and magnetic rocks, and either open up or, enhance. That was the coolest thing in the world, because I used to think, some people would probably think, okay, this guy's crazy. He gonna get me in the jungle and he gonna take my balls like he did the Anunnaki teacher. No, I don't see that. I see you. I used to, but no. I see you as a shaman. I see you like in a rainforest up there, sampling leaves and learning keys to
Hi, Sherry.
life.
Hello.
Yeah.
God bless you. Love and light, sister. How are you?
I'm okay. Just been resting. I was hanging with Rudy.
Hey, Rudy. If he's hanging there, I mean,
he's off the thing now, because obviously I was coming on here.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks for coming on. This is a little thing that me and Dakota put up with the CE5s, the laser, the sound thing that we did with you. Cassidy's giving us a lot of insight and information. We're talking about, she's waving hi at you there. And like I said, we know about, some people that watch the shows and everything. I don't even need to go off into anymore, because the gentleman right there, he knows that he's been genuine and apologized to me and everyone else. And I'm glad you took it and came on the show, because you're awesome.
Yeah, I never meant to offend you, Sherry. I was arguing with the guys in the chat mostly. You know what I mean? And I never meant to call into question Dakota's abilities. I used the wrong verbiage or the wrong tone or something. Either way, I admit I did the thing, and I'm sorry. I never meant to do the thing. You see what I mean?
Okay. I'm gonna let things go, because I am a good person and stuff. And at the end of the day, like, we're all here to do the same thing, aren't we? So we're all here to educate and to get people out there. And
yes,
absolutely awesome. And we was talking about the I don't know if you get to how much you've seen on that with those pictures that the pictures kind of told me, and it just they was talking about sphere energy, and I was asking, about when you was talking about red sphere energy, Cassidy, these colors, the colors and the chakras and the sounds. Now that I'm awakened to the sounds, thanks to Sherry and Dakota, the colors seem to come now. The colors, like I said, when I did, was doing the thing that said relaxation, and it said different realities. So I'm trying to think what it could have changed. How can a sound change my realities? So
sound can change your DNA. A sound is
yeah,
a lot
so
more
true.
influential and powerful than people give it credit
Hi,
for.
Sherry.
Hello, Daisy. Okay.
Are you good?
Yeah, no, sound does. So sounds a very powerful frequency to this planet and to all other planets. And there is a lot of medical things and stuff where they will use certain sounds and stuff like that. And they even in mental health and that, they'll use certain sounding through certain tonings and stuff that they use to try and help people to sustain more of a stable mind. And
I think they call it pink noise.
Yeah, pink. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So noise is a very important frequency and one of the most powerfulest, I believe. I think if we didn't have sound and we didn't have frequencies and things like that, I think we'd be pretty screwed, to be quite honest. So,
we'd be bugs.
Yeah.
Didn't you say at one time, Cassidy? I'm sorry, Sherry. Was you through? I'm sorry. Definitely not going to interrupt.
No, carry on.
No, I was going to say, didn't you say one time, Cassidy, that you was up to hear the sound? I know that Daisy said to make sure that she was told ahead of time because, like I said, with the reactions that Daisy had. But did you say that you would be up to hear the sounds, Cassidy?
I more or less have to, because if I don't, the rumor mill's going to say the sounds drove me away. So I'm like, oh, crap.
The lion
Let's do it.
Oh. The Anunnaki teacher got his balls like Gilgamesh got him. No, he didn't. I'm just saying.
No, it's not that. It's just I grew up in the 80s in the music scene, and then later on in the painting scene, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just so tired of the backstabbing accusations.
Me too.
So,
was you a musician? You sound like you got that voice that probably had that. Was you a singer? You sound like that you probably could have crooned though.
Who,
Cassidy? No, you, Cassidy. You sound like that you probably was a rock star.
No, hell no. My dad tried. He wanted me to learn music more than anything in the world. I had to learn all the instruments that I could, but music never grabbed me. It wasn't my thing. My thing is stories and painting and drawing.
Me too.
So
remote viewing. So Daisy, will you try the sounds, or do you want to try the sounds? Okay.
Absolutely. And I just have to say that some of them have made me very ill, and I'll just tell you.
Don't shoot it. No,
put it on
don't
me.
shoot it.
If I don't like it, I will stop it.
All right. Dakota, what kind of sounds would you put on so that people can know that what it is that you're playing?
Well, I do have the crop circle tones from Dr. Greer's protocols loaded up.
That would be cool.
I have it physically in StreamYard right now, so that way we're not having to rely on someone's mic cutting out. So
smart.
Yeah, this would be awesome.
I try.
So should we turn our mics off and just listen? How long is it?
We have attempted to do tones through the microphones and phones, and it always seems to cut out. You get like a certain amount, then it cuts, and then it comes back in, and we're like,
yeah, it's just the automatic noise filters that are trying to determine what they should be cutting out.
Yeah. Like we hear it perfectly fine, and everybody else is hearing bits of it.
Yeah, so go ahead and get this started.
That'll be awesome. So if anybody out there, these are the positive sounds that nothing but positive. Anything that I've been thinking about that I wanted to happen has happened. I heard them started there, so you got to kind of listen.
Yeah, this is Zeta technology.
I'm gonna turn my mic off.
How you doing, Daisy?
Really good.
Little man running across my shoulder or something.
Is that a sword?
Shit. And I'm trying to catch that light up there because I changed the, that's what I was telling Dakota. I caught the light on there that made the beam the metal because I caught it on one side, glow to the other.
How long is this?
Supposed to let it go for 10 minutes.
Ah, okay.
Sharpening my blades, that's how I rod and my staff, I comfort me. Set a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Truly goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever.
Not sure an anathema is the best use during these things.
I do. Father God, bless us and be with us, Lord, and be with them and keep them safe, keep them strong, keep your hedge of protection around them, Father God. Let them do the work that they need to do and be light and truth and help mankind. In Jesus' name, amen.
You still doing okay, Daisy?
I am.
Cool.
Thank you for asking.
Awesome.
Well, I'm still here, but I do have to pee now. So maybe.
Have you
These
guys
the
ever seen?
waters.
Have you guys ever seen the YouTube video for Sympathy for the Devil?
Which
where
one?
it's words painted on the wall.
Like similar to the one where they did Paint It Black?
You'll
have to send me a link. That's one of my favorites.
Okay. Anyway, that immediately, for one thing, I felt it pack something down inside of me. Like you were talking about faith. I felt something packing down inside of me, and I could see words being written on the wall, like that video, but I couldn't make out the words.
All right.
And then I had in about the middle of it, a voice came in and said, "You and we are way above the red spear."
Good.
So
That's
it was
very good.
productive.
That's very good.
Very productive.
Yeah.
I wish I could have made out those words. I was trying so hard.
Well, imagine putting that vision that you got there, like imagine putting it in a safe in your mind.
Okay.
Take it out later and read it every now and again.
Okay.
Okay. Sherry, you all right?
She's still kind of
tranced out
afterwards.
Yeah. Well, Jim uses tones very similar to those. So yeah.
Yeah,
Three
nothing
Souls
bad.
Paranormal.
Absolutely nothing bad.
But I really have to pee.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. It's a joke.
What's going on, Sherry? Where you at there? Sherry Brett.
Is it like a brown metallic object, like in a diamond shape with a circle in the middle, and there's this white and blue light projecting out of it?
Well, it's like you're kind of going in and out in your sound too. But they used to have an acorn type spacecraft that kind of what you just described. It had.
And I had the number. The 18th, and then I had January.
18. 18 is spiritual material conflict.
And
then
18.
January.
Are they saying 18th of January?
Yeah, it was together.
Fuck.
Write it
That's
down.
the day before my birthday.
Oh, really?
Well,
See, the
here
18th
come
of
the aliens
January,
with their
then I
probing
see
fingers
this-
to give you your spanking.
Yeah,
No!
I see
No!
then I see that. Then I actually see that craft with the light.
Right.
But it looked like it was over a planet, but it didn't look like planet Earth. It looked like it was in between planet Earth and this other planet. Like there was a red planet.
Well, these are Zeta tones. You know, maybe you're seeing a Zeta ship.
Well, it's not one that I've seen before. Like it's not like the Pleiadian one.
Well, yeah, Zetas and
Borderline.
Pleiadians, radically different technology bases.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it's not one that I'm familiar with. I've
Right.
not seen this ship before, and it had this blue and white light coming out of it from the top. But I've been having this ongoing dream about a rocket that's going up in the sky, and you see this ship hitting this rocket.
Maybe you were having a vision of the asteroid experiment. Is that possible? Because I mean, the asteroid looked kind of acorny, and it was brown, and we recently hit it with a rocket.
It was like a diamond shape, and it had like a light coming out of it. So
Right. Okay.
could
Yes,
very
that's
well.
not possible.
You look at some of the asteroids. Sometimes they do look quite diamondy shapes when they move certain ways, but
the light, maybe that could be like
it's just the
like
light
a
coming
tail.
out of it is a bit random.
Well, my money's on Zeta ship.
Cass, what do you think about the Zetas? I was recently, like in November, I got contacted by them, and I lay on my side sometime with a particular pillow, and kind of meditate to really hear what they're saying. And they came to me and said, we are and they said Zeta Reticuli. So I thought that was kind of funny. But basically, mine want to start a colony that nothing is in our mind. And the Zetas say no. The Zetas say no, they're staying in the human mind. And so Jim says they're absolutely benevolent.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Are they? Okay. Well,
yeah, they're okay. There was a while there was some really, really tense things going on with the Zetas. I've never had contact with them personally, so this is all secondhand experience. But basically, until from what I understand, about 3 years ago, there was a sort of a peace reached with them.
Yep.
They were causing issues because essentially they were trying to terraform this world to make the Zetas are you guys, but in the future, just really far in the future. You know, so they were trying to recreate from what I can tell, the environmental disasters that led to their evolution. The trouble is that's not the way time works. So, you know, they negotiated it. They got it pieced out.
Okay.
So, again, I've never had contact with them personally, so this is all secondhand information. That was a completely different team.
They identified themselves immediately, which is very, very unusual for my contact. They never, ever identify themselves, and they said it right away. It was contact. It feels farther away,
right.
And there's a little bit of a time delay, so it's not in human pentameter, if that makes sense.
You mean like the way that, like the cadence of their speech and the way they construct their words?
Yeah, it's right. You really have to listen to what they're saying, and the exchange when I say something and they say something back. It takes a long time.
And
okay. So they're around, and I think that I'm connected somehow. I'm a point of where they meet and negotiate things, and I don't know how, I don't know why, but it was really unusual, and Jim was really interested in that too, and that was in November.
They might be trying to get you out of any draconic entanglements. You know,
I wonder that. I definitely wonder that.
Yeah. Honestly, Jim, there are other starseeds that are better to ask about the Zeta. What I could tell you about the Zeta from personal experiences in one hand. Again, I've never had contact with them.
Okay.
You know, I know they work with Anomo a lot, but you know.
Okay. It was they asked me to get into position, which means I lay on my bed with this pillow in a certain way, and like I said, the contact was really distant, but it was fruitful. But yeah, so they don't want to let us go, basically.
You're saying the Zetas say they don't want you to let you
They
go?
don't want to let us go. Yeah, they're monitoring through our thoughts,
right?
And the mine want to take this human colony away with no encumberments, and the Zetas say, "No way, you're not taking them anywhere."
That actually tracks with some of the. We've talked about this before on the various shows. One of the supposedly government plans is to evacuate the planet onto another world after this one's been wrecked. But on these other planets, they're apparently, supposedly, from what I understand, they've already been bought and paid for. So, like Planet Starbucks. So if you go to Planet Starbucks, congratulations, you're property of Planet of Starbucks. You know.
Okay.
So that tracks from what my guys tell me.
Okay.
Let me Starbucks.
Wouldn't that be a riot?
Man, I want Planet McDonald's and Pizza Hut, man. For real, that's what I want. It reminds me of that.
Sign me up for P3, Planet Papa John's.
They tell me that we are all spread out on different dimensions, and they splice these dimensions together to allow contact between the people who are naturally supposed to cross paths.
I wouldn't know about that.
Okay.
I'm not sure how they see the world or how their technology works. So that's kind of.
And I don't think that's Zeta technology. I think that's whoever is around me.
Okay, that
how
can
would
make
I
sense.
met y'all? I mean, how
But then
would I
again,
have met
maybe
y'all?
you are Zeta technology.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, Daisy and Cassidy.
I have seen, like, when I've gone on visitations and stuff, I have seen certain technology that's done with lights, with sound and vibration of sound, like pretty powerful.
That's how I would have met you guys, like with vibration and sound. I'm sorry.
The umbrella effect. Do you remember me saying something like that to you guys?
Yes. Yeah.
The umbrella effect. I don't know why, but that's popped in my head again. I think they want us to do something
Kinda
with
like
that
the
umbrella
Mandela
effect.
Cass and I were just
Like
talking
getting all
about
of
that.
the tones and stuff like all over and bringing it over to cause a barrier over the earth.
Cass and I were talking about the Mandela effect because I watched.
Just like all I got was umbrella effect.
I watched the video between you guys, and
yeah.
I didn't see Cass make any threats, and everybody else is like, "It was right there."
Yeah, you was talking about like the Mandela effect with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's because of the way I talk. See, folks, the reason why I made light of the intestine thing is because that was my own father. If I don't joke about it, I'll start weeping hysterically. You know what I mean? So, in retrospect, it was wrong to make light of it in that way, but I have to do something, you know? I mean, for starters, there's the betrayal. I mean, that was my own goddamn father that threw shit at my daughter. And then, just as a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But that's why I say to everybody, if you want to, look it up. Edward Charles Dunning, Bay Area, California. Find the records. That's what you're looking for.
How does Moloch fit in? Why did he attack you?
I don't know if it's anything personal before, or if it's just because my child was a child. But it doesn't irrelevant now. It struck my child. It's going to die.
Definitely.
I'm sorry. Excuse me for a second, guys. I didn't want to, make this make the show go too far off of what we was doing here. And like I said, it's an excellent subject,
weren't we?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, that I was trying to get back to the CE5s and things like that because we're going into a little in depth, and then we got to talking about something that we wasn't going to talk about again. And this is my show. So
we were talking about the Mandela effect.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying I'm sorry if I want to get back to what we was talking about. That's how we were going to do it set up. That's the Mandela effect. Kind of the reason why was because you guys were talking about what happened, and that brought back up the reason the Mandela effect. I mean, you can tie things in everywhere, but then when you still bring up the same subject, it's still going back to the same negative stuff. But the Mandela effect is a great subject. There's a bunch of great subjects out there. Like I said, it's so many great subjects, but sometimes, like I said, we got to step past it into new dimensions, because that's what like we started with this.
That's what the Mandela effect's all about.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand that, Cassidy. And okay, I understand that, Daisy. And I understand that, Sherry. But what we wanted to talk about was showing the footage and making sure that we got different stories and stuff going, and not just, you guys too talking about just these different effects and stuff like that. So that's why I was just trying to make sure that we take some comments in and everything else, and whatever other sounds, or what did we get from the sounds? What other effects come from that? Because, like I said, I take the Dakota's sounds and I do experiments with them. I mean, is there experiments that you guys try to do with these different type of sounds and different type of effects and different stuff like that you learn about, and then do you put it into some type of action? Really, the Mandela effect. How do you rectify the Mandela effect? How do we get back to where everybody is seeing the same thing? Like what Beck Birdie was talking about, the separation between the upper self and the lower self, how the upper chakra has left the lower chakra, where so many people are caught up on the things of the world down here that we're caught up, the hologram is in effect because we've really been separated from the real self. And, those are fascinating subjects to me. But, to continue to talk about, like I said, what happened back with some squabbling with this crowd and the group is irrelevant, whatever other subjects we come up to, because we put that seed back out there.
You've been
And I'm a
chastising us
minister.
longer than we were talking about it. Let's just
Yeah.
get
I'm
back
a
to it.
minister. I do. So, I mean,
I'm a
me,
minister
you
too,
know,
and I'm about to preach
Hey,
back.
go ahead. I'm just
Same
gonna
here,
get my
man.
piece, and then you can get yours. Cause let me finish, and then you can go ahead and go, with me. But that's how
No, I'm just saying,
it
get it
should be
back.
done.
Bring it
Let
back
me
to where
go
you
ahead
want
and
it,
say
bro.
what I say, and then I'll let you. That's fair?
Bring it back to where you want it.
Yeah. But is that fair is what I asked.
It's your show. Fair is irrelevant. Bring it back to
Is
where you
that
want it,
fair?
broski.
Yes or no?
No, it's not fair. Okay, no, it's not
Okay.
fair.
Okay,
Right?
then
She
it's
brought up.
not. Then let's
she
do.
brought-
Okay, then what do you think would be fair?
Would be fair would be to address Daisy's point. I mean, maybe she used an inconvenient example, but
I thought y'all did address the point, though. That's what I'm saying. That I thought that we was
No, you
still,
cut
so
in.
it was.
No, you cut
Okay,
in.
so because the show was only so long, though. That's why I'm saying I was trying to get some back to the subjects that we was dealing with here. That you guys said you guys was going to discuss that later, correct?
No,
Yeah.
she was just
That's
talking
fine.
about the Mandela effect. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
And
Go
how the
ahead and
Mandela
finish.
effect
I'll let
is
you guys go ahead
currently
and finish.
happening.
Go ahead and
But
finish.
isn't the simple fact of any show that everybody has the right to be able to speak what they see or they feel? That is how we have an understanding of the different effects that these tones have on. Like, obviously, like myself, Dakota, we go into other dimensions. We talk to extraterrestrial. You're having weird experiences. Daisy
Right
maybe
now.
sees things differently when she uses the tones. You know what I mean? She might see things a different way. So it is relevant to hear these things because it may be
Right.
relevant.
I got
The
an
Mandela
answer.
effect is a
I got a
very
great
strong
answer from those
effect,
tones.
yeah.
I
So I
mean,
think that
something
Daisy
I've
should
been really
continue saying
pouring
what she said.
really
Right. I'm not
pouring
offended
energy
that I
into,
didn't
and I
mean to
got an
offend
answer.
anyone here either. That was just because those sounds do
No,
certain
but
things to us.
there
And
is
I was
no
just seeing
offence.
if
I'm
you
just
all
saying
was
because
aware
obviously
of
she's
them.
probably feeling it different to what we do. She's not really
Right. Because we've
she's getting
already.
it a different way.
Right. Like, for
True.
example, she could have been about to say she heard a tone during that conversation. That might be why she brought it up. Daisy, please
Yeah,
continue.
and that's why I'm saying
Yes.
let Daisy go back and say continue what she was saying, so we can try and establish what she's getting to.
Mhm.
Now I can't even remember where I was. Just the Mandela effect. That sometimes I view something and it's totally different than what somebody else sees.
Right.
And it's constant. It happens to me all the time.
I believe you. I mean, the Mandela effect is speeding up. I don't think it's something that needs to be rectified, though. It seems to me to be something that is rectifying. Yeah?
Yeah, I agree. But
I
those
believe that
tones were beautiful for me.
Yeah,
it was
I
really,
think the
it was
Mandela
really
effect
cool.
is seen differently by many.
Say that again.
I think the Mandela effect is seen differently by many. I think that everybody sees it in a different way.
Yeah.
Different effects.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's why it's so important to focus on like shared communal events like the Bible situation. You know, that's something that no matter where you are in the world, no matter what culture you are, it still hits for whatever reason that same passage in the Bible the same way. You know.
Yeah, definitely. That was interesting.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, with religions and stuff like you'd say about the Bible, because that's the one we really know, a lot of the religions and stuff themselves are very similar, just different named gods, different sort of scenarios in a way. You know what I mean? But it's the same sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like I always like to say to everyone when we've all got different religions, we're still worshipping and being in communication with the same energy. We just refer to them differently. We've got different names. We've got
I wasn't bringing the Bible up for religious purposes, but there's something specific about a passage in the Bible, Ezekiel 11:6. Structurally speaking, it reacts to the Mandela effect super sensitive. So people all around the world are able to open it up at the same time and say, "Okay, it's different today." You see what I mean?
Yeah,
it blew my mind. It blew my mind when you did that.
Represent something different. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
I get what you're saying.
But I think those tones were positive. It was.
They are
I
positive.
could feel if I would have let myself go, I could have been kind of in a trance. But I really fight stuff like that.
And that's what that does.
I'm glad, Daisy.
And that's what I like when I said to everybody, because like when people were saying about them, I don't think you should be using them. Like obviously with the tones, like if you're in communication and in contact with the right people that use them regularly, know how to use them, know how to talk to you and tell you how to be and how to relax and things like that, it can be a very positive experience. Like I'm sure there are people out there that have had a very negative experience with them, because everybody's different.
Yes.
But we've not had that experience. We've had positive ones, and we've been pretty good with anyone we've brought in to do that with. They've not had a negative experience. So
yeah, I've been resisting them for a long time. Just kind
Dakota,
of nervous about them. What's that?
It's not Dakota.
Check. Not me either.
Is it me?
It might be because your voice didn't repeat.
What do I do?
Nothing. It's not that big a deal. It's a slight, very, very slight, like electronic echo.
Okay.
But yeah, no, they are very positive, and people are going to react to them different ways. And like, that's not even a matter of, well, that means that your parents were the enemy forces. I mean, just everybody's makeup is a different equation. You know.
Exactly. Yep. And everybody will see those tones in a different way as well, see different things. We won't all see the same thing. You know what I mean? Like when I go under each time, I don't see the same thing all the time. It's always different things and, messages and all sorts.
Yeah.
Like it really does depend on you on the day as well, like to what you're going to get. Like
definitely.
That plays key.
Right. Jim said
I wish we could all come together, like everybody that is squabbling, by intent, because I think we all of us our intentions are really good, and I just want that known. I don't think that there's anything bad in us. You know what I mean? There's we all come together with good intentions.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you guys exposing me to those tones in kind of it feels safe to me. I appreciate it.
Remember something, okay? You can't choose where your genes come from, but satanic is a choice, all right?
Okay.
The Draco aren't satanic. Satanic is a satanic is a way of being where someone uses deception, like as a tool, So don't ever think that just because some sexy space cats have a problem with your grandpa means they have a problem with you. You know what I mean? Their sins are not yours.
Yeah. That's true.
And the words that I use they're built from the inside. So I hear things first and then I look them up. And
smart.
So that might not be exactly fitting for everybody, but that's how it fits together in my head.
Yeah, and if that's what works with you, what does anybody else get to say about it?
Exactly.
Exactly. Everybody does it differently, don't they? So.
Right.
And then the whole point of doing this sort of thing, to experience things, then to try and get more of a detail about what you're seeing and having more of a knowledge so that people can actually have some sort of factual information.
Yes.
Sort of thing. Like,
That's
obviously,
what
I do it
happened to
different
me.
to you, Daisy, because I will just communicate and do whatever. I don't research. I don't do any of that. I go through what I'm being told, but then I'm
Yep,
quite
me
open.
too.
So
Like that Elven Lady's book.
I'm different, but I will, in time when I'm ready, will do the research into the stuff that I've got, because I've wrote everything I've got down.
Yeah.
So I know that I can go back over that when I'm ready and be like, right, okay, I want to see into this more, see if I can explain it to the guys. And everybody's different, I guess. Everybody's got their own way. There is no wrong way to be. Like, we are supposed to be researchers and establish some sort of factual information from it.
We're truth seekers. Bottom line, we're looking for our own truth.
Right.
That is exactly what we're doing.
Exactly. Awesome.
But I got an answer out of those tones. Something that I've been pouring on for a couple days. So it was really positive.
Well, Jim says the purpose of those tones, and again, I don't know, but he says the purpose of those tones is to activate parts of the brain. So maybe like that was maybe like it helped connect you to something that was rolling around in your head anyway.
Maybe.
The tones are, and the frequencies are used to be able to calculate with the parts of your brain that are not so active, and to open that conscious about them parts of the brain, and maybe past realities and past memory. So that's what they are. They're there to open your consciousness. They're there to awaken you to the truth and the reality of who you may be and what you may be and things you may be connected to, like past memories. Like a lot of it, like obviously this is very much used for connecting with extraterrestrial, but you can use these tones to communicate with spirit. You can use these tones to connect with cryptos and stuff as well. It's all about memory regression. It's opening a memory you can't remember, or a memory that you have some part of information but you're needing to know more on. And that's what these tones do. They open that as well as help you to communicate as well. But you do have to have that direct want to be communicating when you're doing it. Like you got to be open to wanting to communicate.
Yes.
So.
And that's why I was apprehensive, because I have so much contact. I was afraid to invite anything else in, but it was a positive experience.
Yeah, and these tones are something that you want to work with gradually. You don't want to rush into it. You want to gradually open yourself, because the more you open yourself, the more you listen to it, the more you become used to it, the more information will come to you. Then you'll become more comfortable with it. Like you said, you had a nice experience. That's good, because now you know that it's comfortable and you trust it. So your next step may be that you may want to.
How often do you recommend you listen to them? A person listen to them?
I listen to the tones every day.
You do? Okay.
I listen to the tones every day, 3 times a day, and I will do it in between my meditation. It's part of me, because of me being a starseed and things like that. I listen to them every day.
Okay.
I also have other tones. I don't just listen to them. I listen to Egyptian toning from the pyramids.
I would be interested in hearing those. Toning. Can you send them to me? Okay.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Maybe
definitely.
This might sound like I'm a big baby, but maybe the first couple I hear, can we do them on like a call so that somebody's there?
If you don't feel completely comfortable to sit on your own, of course I'll sit there and sit with you.
Thank you.
Definitely.
I appreciate that.
Dakota, are you okay? Or the energy that's with Dakota?
He's been
Do you want to say something?
Dakota.
He's probably going to be speaking a different voice in a second.
In Chamadana, Dakota.
The light on the back of his head.
Yeah.
It's connecting to the thing on the wall.
They are.
The line
They
is
are
going.
around him. They are
That
around
line
him.
is going straight down into the shine on his head. It's coming through my fan. It's like it's circulating. Like I feel the breeze. Like Cassidy's light is manifesting something there too. So it looks like the light that was at the end
I
of the.
think somebody's walking past him.
Yeah, I see
in
Cassidy's
his
light is raising up.
Yeah.
Is he in trance?
He's channeling.
Okay.
He's channeling. He's
Okay.
trancing and that. Yeah. Because you notice that with mine, like you'll notice that my eyes go like glass as well. You can see that, like they go from brown to, and they go to like a really pale blue. Then you can see that they look like glass.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So you know when I'm going through.
Okay.
Yes, you touched with your left hand exactly where that face was manifesting, Cassidy. Right where you touched the wall. Your left hand should be feeling just, I would think, glowing.
I only have so many left hands.
Look at the glow where you touched that. It looks like a hole is opening in the wall, like a rainbow glow.
Sherry, would you consider yourself a psychic?
I don't like to put a label onto what I am. I like to just say that I'm a spiritualist. That means that I'm open to all things and I'm comfortable with all things. Like I would not say that I'm a medium because I don't see things to the extent of a medium, but I would say that I have some of that. So I like to say spiritualist is the most easiest thing for me. I don't like to be given a label. I like to be comfortable in what I'm doing. I don't like people thinking that I'm not really somebody that likes to be there and like try and communicate with people dead.
Is Dakota okay there?
He's coughing. Like that. Yeah, I think he's getting sick.
Yeah, he's not.
No,
he's not been well for a couple of days.
You want to cut it, Dakota? You all right? I mean, that's not a negative, but I'm just saying, do you feel okay though?
Oh, are you okay? You okay?
Find someone's dog. Sound.
Where were you?
Oh no.